Hello everyone, we hope you're having a great weekend so far and welcome to Going Places. This is one of many hotfixes that run through the year and in between awesome and summer games done quick. Speaking of which, yesterday we got confirmation of dates and venue for the next event. Yes, in its current state, SGDQ 2022 will be hosted in Minnesota. So to find out more about what's going on with that, the safety restrictions that will be in place, and when it's going to be happening, you can go check out gamesdonequick.com for more information. For those of you unfamiliar with this show and its format, this is Going Places, as I mentioned. We travel the Speedscape in many ways, whether we're going around with our handheld consoles for some mobile gaming magic, or landing in far-off lands, finding games that didn't get global releases. We aim to show off some classics and a few hidden treasures here and there. Today we've got a pair of pretty splendid portable games. You see what we did there? This is a PSP Spectacular? I don't know. Anyway, Dessa is going to be kicking us off with MediEvil Resurrection. I should probably just stop talking. Dessa, it is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. I am Dessa, also known as guy who always has a strand of hair going down. Yeah, I'm going to be showing MediEvil Resurrection, probably my first ever PSP game, actually, one of my favorite games to speedrun, actually, because many people know MediEvil. Not many some people know there's a remake on PS4, and not many people know that the remake also released on PSP. However, this remake is like, oh my god, it's like a true remake where they changed a ton of things. They changed the jokes, the gameplay, the visuals, they added levels, they removed loads, they combined loads, they did a ton of stuff with it. And it's also jank. Which is one of the reasons why I love it so much, because this game, especially on the console, on emulator it's not as good, but on console you can do some really neat stuff in here.
We love a bit of jank.
Oh, for sure. You're gonna see it in the first minute. It's gonna start off jank and it'll go even crazier.
Let's go.
We're gonna be running all chalices. I'll be explaining a little bit of that during the round, but it's kind of like the 100% category. We don't talk about actual 100%, but all chalice is pretty much like the proper 100% category, the one that's actually fun to do. And yeah, I'd say if we're ready to go, then I'd go ahead and start.
Yep, good to go.
Okay, then we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Right off the bat, thank you very much. Right off the bat, I already lost a second. Because...
The best place to go if you're looking for a dead.
Okay. What the hell is my video doing? Okay. So, right off the bat, I lost a second. Because, like, at the start, when choosing new game, you can skip that transition. I didn't manage to do it, but it's not a big deal. We're gonna jump into the lava as we would usually do. That's like a totally normal thing to do because the lava hitbox doesn't extend all the way to the wall. Good for us because we can pick up the chicken drumstick, one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and it's right here in the first level. And then we're gonna do this. So, as you can guess by what I did just now, doors do not mean anything for us.
Spoils the ambience.
98% of the doors in this game basically do not exist because we just run through them. This one is one of the exceptions. We don't have to collect this weapon, but collecting the weapon is first of all good because it actually allows us to kill zombies and enemies in general, and it opens the door. So the goal of all chalices is, as the category name suggests, to collect all chalices, and you do so by finding and collecting your chalice in every single level of the game and filling it up. You fill it up, as you might have noticed already, by killing enemies. So right here I kill an enemy and boom, I get 3%. I kill these two, hopefully, and get 4 more %. And I just run around all the levels trying to kill as many enemies as possible. In most levels, I do not have to kill every single enemy, but in some levels I do, either because it's the requirement of the level in itself, or because that's the requirement to fill the chalice to 100%. Now, about the doors that don't exist. There is something in this game called the sword glitch. As you see, I keep charging my attacks. There are light attacks, which is what I do in between dashes to reset it, and heavy attacks. If I charge a light attack with a sword-like weapon, like the short sword or a long sword or a wooden sword or whatever is pretty much a sword, I charge a thrusting move. You're gonna see it again in a second after I get rid of these guys. I need to get that guy too. Now I'm gonna charge the dash and then jump up into the air. Once I... Can I... Oh no, I talked to the merchant. Once I charge the attack, I can then jump, and once I land, release the charge and dash with triangle to basically propel myself forward. And for 95% of the doors, this means that we do not have to meet the requirement to actually open the door, whether it be hitting a switch, collecting a rune, or just progressing the story of the level far enough. And this leads to some really nice routing and gameplay if you don't aim at the pillar 3 times in a row. Okay, good start. This level right here, the graveyard, we're gonna return to it, and both graveyard and return to the graveyard are, in my opinion, the hardest levels in the entire run. So it's not gonna be looking as complicated from here on out. So, what is the goal of collecting all chalices, you might think?
Like Valhalla,
It's right here.
Only I'm legally obliged
The Hall
to
of
say
Heroes.
we're not affiliated.
This right here. The Hall of Heroes is kind of like... well, yeah, all the heroes gather here. All the... Yeah, I'm supposed to collect it. All of the heroes from past times gather here.
Cemetery
They...
Hill. An excellent
fought,
thing for the blues
either they
singer.
fought in a war or they were known for something else. And if we collect the chalice and fill it up completely, we're granted access to it. And one of the heroes will acknowledge us and give us one of their weapons or something else, like a health potion or whatever. The guy just now gave us the crossbow, which we'll need in the next level, next story level, but we'll return to this one. The one from this level will give us a warhammer and so on. They're not tied to levels specifically. They're actually tied to the amount of chalices you filled. So if I don't fill a single chalice and then get the one in the final level, for example, it means I will get the crossbow as my goodie from the final level. So it just takes into account how many chalices you filled. And you see that I'm pretty close. For those who know the game, I'm already pretty close to finishing this level, but I don't have the chalice. That is because this level is rather unique. It has 2 branching paths, and thanks to the sword glitch, we can ignore one of the paths completely and collect the spade. The spade is an item we need in the first level because, yes, the first level has a chalice as well.
Crypt. The best place to go if
This
you're
chalice
looking for a
cannot
dead
be
dad.
collected until Cemetery Hill because you need A, the club that I'm wielding right now, and B, the spade that I collected in Cemetery Hill. So I'm gonna stand on this grave and quickly use the spade. This way I'm gonna get the chalice, and this enemy right here, the zombie, is, or the mummy, is the only enemy in this entire level, so I'm gonna quickly get rid of him with 3 light attacks and a stab. Then zip through the door again and get my warhammer.
The hall
This
Interesting.
warhammer is... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, I was just wondering, it's interesting that you said that there's sort of different levels in Jank depending on what version you use, whether it's on emulator or console. I assume
Yes.
all of this sort of going through doors, is that something that's console exclusive? Or I assume you could do that on emulator? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's actually like exactly what it is. On emulator, unless you somehow reduce the clock speed of the emulator by using all the BIOSes,
An
something like that.
excellent name for the blues singer.
unless you do that, you're not able to zip through doors on emulator. So
Oh,
on
wow.
emulator, this run would look completely different from what it does right now. And that also means on emulator, at least in all chalices, I think it wouldn't be as interesting, personally. And the reason I love this game so much is, running this game so much, is because running through those doors just opens up a completely new level of routing, because you do things that you would usually not think of, or the order you go about. Why do I have 43%? I shouldn't have that much yet. Something died without my help. That's good.
Yeah, I can imagine it just completely flips the run on its head, being able to go through the doors. Did somebody just find out by was just like, yeah, let's see if we can do this, or I don't know, what's the history behind it?
I actually don't know, because I haven't been running the game for as long, or not from the very beginning, I'd say. This game has been run for like starting 2016 or something, and I myself didn't start speedrunning in general before 2017. And I picked this game out. Oopsie. I picked up this game in 2018, I believe it was. Yeah, 2018. And by that point, the sword glitch has already been discovered. Things that have changed ever since I started. Oh wow, I'm doing bad right now. Wow. Things that have changed since I started was mainly like how to go about levels, how to utilize said sword glitch. So I myself mainly changed a lot of routing, found a few more applications for the sword glitch, and then Bobby Kaze, for those of you who are into PSP or PS2 speedruns, he is a very good jump and run glitch hunter for Jack and Daxter, MediEvil, God of War, all those games. God of War is not necessarily jump and run, but you have some jump and run elements that can be exploited pretty well. And he just breaks them all. And he found quite a few skips here as well, or glitches, just tricks how to go about the game quicker.
Nice.
Where was I going? Oh yeah, so on emulator, the run is definitely different because you won't be able to use the sword glitch. And on any percent, using the sword glitch flips the entire run on its head completely. You'll see that later on, especially, but this level, for example, is a very good example, and Cemetery Hill is one as well. For those who played the game, you know that there's like an underground section where you have some enemies, you have some notes that you have to collect to hand to the story NPC in this level and all that stuff. We don't do that. What we do is we try and defeat those imps. Wait, I'm missing an enemy. Oh, how did he get there? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna ignore all of that and just zip through the door. Now, the end of the level is behind that glass door, and we are actually able to skip to that as well. However, there are a few rare instances in MediEvil where it actually has like item checks between levels. So we get the glass stained key from finishing this level, and you need it in the next level. Meaning that... Can I... and you need it in the next level, meaning we cannot skip it because in the next level there's actually an unpassable door. Okay, one sec. There we go. So angling your camera against the archway and then jumping around a little bit like a maniac with a fixed camera allows you to, for whatever reason, just clip into the door. I assume the game just tries to put you somewhere and doesn't know where, so it just puts you inside the room. I can't tell you exactly what's happening though. I just know it works.
I mean, I feel like a lot of speedrunners will probably sort of be like, yeah, it just happens.
Yeah, exactly. It just happens. I assume that the game just failed to put you somewhere specific because it is very camera specific. You try to get the camera stuck. So I assume it has something to do with that, but I don't know the specifics of it. We're basically skipping half of this level here because there is an entire section where there's some guy on an... I forgot what the instrument is called. What is that church instrument called in English? I don't have the name for it right now. Whatever, so... Oh, like a piano-style instrument. I completely blanked on the name,
organ?
But organ, yeah. Hey. So that guy's playing an organ and you are supposed to give him notes for that one. But we just don't have to do it because we can zip to the end of the level pretty much immediately and go for the boss. This boss is the reason we need the crossbow, aside from, well, being able to collect it anyway because of the chalices. But even at any percent, you get the crossbow just for this boss. There are throwing daggers, but those are pretty bad. Okay. So this boss is not super easy because you want to time the at the start of your salvo to hit his heart fairly specific, and you want to have a very specific timing on it, because if you shoot too late on like 1 or 2 cycles, it adds an entire extra cycle, which depending on how lucky you are can lose you 10 to 25 seconds. You see he's constantly throwing shards. I hope you don't see what he can do apart from that. He can jump around, and jumping around just loses like at least 15 extra seconds depending on how late into the fight he does it. The later he does it, the more time it loses because he does more and more jumps. And standing close to him kinda manipulates him to throwing the shards, but it's not consistent by any means. I like to call it pseudo RNG manip, but in the end, I think it's still just luck. Okay, we got final move. Please don't jump. Thank you. Okay, cool. That was a good fight. And now if I wouldn't have timed my shots properly, I would have had to do an entire extra cycle and potentially go through another, basically, gamble on whether he's going to jump or not. The item we're going to get right now is the sole reason we do this boss in the first place. We could skip it. It's very easy to skip it, because right here is the ending. We can clip into that. But that stained glass key is required in the next level.
Enjoy your visit.
The stained glass key is used to, well, as keys do, open a door. And that is one of the few doors in the entire game that cannot be passed because it's just thicker. There are ways to go around it and go out of bounds to skip it, but we cannot clip inbounds yet. We have not found a way for that. That's like the last big thing we can find in this game. 40% as well.
We went there earlier. If you have reasonable short-term memory, you might remember it.
You might have noticed that I didn't pick up any weapon in the Hall of Heroes as well. That is because, and I actually didn't know that myself, someone in my chat was like, yo, can you just not pick up the weapon? Because that's what you do in MediEvil 1. And that I tried it out and it led into me saving 1.5 minutes throughout the entire run. So you don't have to collect the weapon and you can still progress. The game does not lock you out of any weapons. It still counts the chalice as collected. But it now means that even if I don't collect the chalice in a level, I will be sent to the Hall of Heroes because it's still like, oh, you haven't gotten that weapon yet, you should go and get it. So we delay some of those grabs on purpose, so we can just grab them all at once to save a lot of walking. Because the Hall of Heroes is not super small. It's not that big. But it's big enough to lose like, oh my god, these jumps are awful. It's big enough that it'll lose quite a bit of time. I try to not fail this jump again. It's not that hard. We basically just, there. We try to use the dash while we're in the air, angle ourselves before we actually unleash the dash, to then propel ourselves to this platform. You can go about it a lot quicker, and if you fall down once or twice, it's already slow, but hey, we're in a marathon, so might as well show off the cooler movement and all that. Oh. So, now we use the long sword, one of the strongest weapons in the entire game, and we got that from finishing Cemetery Hill. And this is one of the hardest sections of the run, as easy as it looks. We have to run past these zombies quickly. Or like, we don't have to, we obviously want to go fast, but we want to go run past these zombies quickly and basically drive by, hit them real quick. But it's super hard because the hitbox of the long sword is almost a straight line downwards. Not quite a straight line, but it's not much better. It might as well be a straight line because it's about as difficult. Now there are some more enemies. This is one of the levels that is super long and still requires us to kill every single enemy. Because, I don't know, it's just one of the harder levels, one of the more in-depth levels. And if we miss a single enemy, there are quite a few hidden ones, then we will have to backtrack and search for them.
Thinking about that jump that you had to make earlier, from my experience, like I've got a PSP kicking about, and at some point I'd love to do some speedruns of some games on it. But in terms of like controller options, unless you want to play on a PlayStation TV or something else, I assume that you're controlling it through a normal PSP, so you're stuck with whatever because it doesn't have it's not a traditional joystick that we're now very much used to. It's got it sort of slides around. I don't know. It has a name, but I can't think of it at the moment.
Oh, I didn't even know it has a specific name. I just know it sucks, and I personally don't use it. I use the D-pad actually.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
It makes things a bit more precise, but it's super jank, obviously, because the D-pad is really not good.
Yeah.
But it's better than the joystick, especially because the joystick breaks very, very quickly. And
the lesser of two MediEvils.
Yep, indeed. So I was talking about hidden enemies earlier, actually. So all these doors with the chalice and the rune, I can clip through those if I don't kill all the enemies, because the clip actually relies a little bit on lag that is produced by enemies running around. So if you're too close, if you get rid of all the enemies at some point, you will not be able to clip through doors anymore. Oh, I got coffin troll, cool. He's not vulnerable until he starts standing up, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, I could clip through those doors, no problem. However, some of these enemies only spawn when the statue that opens these doors is facing a specific way. So I actually have to engage with those and kind of play the level properly, but also not quite, because you see I still skip a lot of stuff. Leave, thank you. Nub is a pretty good word to describe it, I guess. It is kind of just a nub. That analog stick wannabe. Now this guy, yep, perfect. I can zip through this door because there's still some enemies over there that lag the game enough. So something I'll mention now that is probably not super, like, some people probably don't like it, but something we decided on as the like 2 or 3 people who actually care about speedrunning this game. The game is faster if you're running digital. So I'm running the digital version right now. I do have the disc at home as well. However, the PSP store is down, obviously. Everyone knows that PSP, you cannot download the things anymore. You can still do it on PS3, but eventually PS3 will not be able to do it either. So what we decided on for PSP is we're allowed to run this game through an ISO, which is alright, I guess, if you have the game anyway. And it obviously also means that you'd have to mod the console. So pretty much everyone who runs this game nowadays is playing on a soft modded console, which also allows to increase the CPU speed of the PSP. And we figured if you're already playing on an ISO, because there is no other way to play it digitally anymore, then we might as well allow the overclocking of the PSP. It drains the battery a bit quicker. Oops, wrong button. It drains the battery a bit quicker, but it also makes the game not awful, because a lot of you guys, if you played the game, remember this game having a ton of frame drops, and while it still drops a lot of frames like right now, it's nowhere near as bad as it would be if I wouldn't be running overclocked. It's terrible. This game, it's supposed to be running 60 FPS, but even with the PSP at its limit, it's not able to do that. That's how, I'm gonna call it, poorly optimized this is, or how ambitious they were with this game.
So when because you've got it sort of clocked up a little bit higher, does that mean your PSP, like as you're playing it, it turns into a little hand warmer? Does it get quite hot?
It gets warmer than usual, not much warmer, but
Okay, that's good.
have to, oh my god, thank you. I have to plug it in. If I don't plug it in, then it will, how do you call it? It will drain the battery quicker.
I feel like that's a true speedrun though. You gotta beat the game or beat the category before your PSP shuts down.
Pretty much, yeah.
The one with the mad people in.
Okay, this is one of the few levels where we actually have to beat all the enemies, just because it's the whole gimmick of this level. This level is a big gauntlet of tons of enemies. And we're gonna use the long sword for pretty much all of it. Are we gonna use anything else? Oh yeah, we're gonna use the short sword for one part of movement, but that's pretty much it. So for this game specifically, which is how we came up with the overclocking and all that in the first place, this game is also available on PS TV, I mean. You can play it on PS TV as well. And PS TV is able to do pretty much all the same things with the door clipping, but it also kind of runs on 333 megahertz, the overclocked version of the PSP. Another reason why we decided that it's totally fine to overclock it. Just because the PS TV can actually run it properly. It actually looks nice on a PS TV. That's like another thing. PS TV is totally fine for this. And usually, if the game is available on PS TV is the go-to method as well. People usually run it there. Sorry for that. Okay, but back to the game. At this point, we've collected quite a few chalices. And soon, I will actually go ahead and grab all the things in the Hall of Heroes. There's gonna be one level later that I traverse called Galomir Plains. And I mentioned earlier how if you have weapons, I'm gonna call it preserved in the Hall of Heroes, the game will kick you into the Hall of Heroes no matter if you collected and filled the chalice or not. And Galomir Plains is basically just a little hub where you're not supposed to be able to collect the chalice. There is no chalice, there are no enemies, it's just a little hub with some minigames and a merchant. Meaning that if we have weapons in the Hall of Heroes, it'll still send us there. So what we're gonna do is before we step into Galomir Plains, which is in about like 10-ish minutes, 15-ish minutes, we're gonna collect every single weapon just to skip another visit to the Hall of Heroes. Okay. I did this slightly unoptimal, but I just tried around a little bit, and this actually worked if I would have hit these guys. Okay, there we go. And this room is actually pretty fancy. I do tend to drop into the acid pool every now and then, but the strat in this room is actually don't touch anything. Just jump around in circles and let these guys take care of themselves. A rather unique room in a level where you would expect to just go after all the enemies by yourself. I can try and push them into the acid by dashing into them, but it doesn't work all the time, and obviously if you miss, you can land in the acid pool yourself, which wastes a lot of time and a little bit of health. So these guys, in the previous section, I was able to lure them into the acid pool, but from this point onward, there are no acid pools available, so I actually have to defeat them. And they are not good. They can duck under my attack, they have really jank hitboxes, they're fast, and they deal a lot of damage if they start hugging you. It's pretty hard to beat those efficiently, actually. And generally, those are like the most dangerous enemies, at least in this level. There's some more enemies that are a little bit more dangerous in later levels. But for how early into the game this is, because this is like barely mid-game, it's honestly quite difficult. You see I have 2 health... Oh, oops. Thought there's another wave. You see I have 2 health potions next to my HP bar, which are basically just 1-ups. If I die once or my health gets depleted, it gets into... it taps into the reserves and I will be able to get some health out of these. But... at this point in the game, you're not able to have more than 2, meaning that these guys can actually get rid of your health quite quickly. So this door with the health pool, those green things, I don't know what you would call them in English, but those green fountains are health pools. If you stand inside them, you heal. And I can, just like with doors, this was just a little wall that I could zip through to heal earlier and trap the enemies behind the door so I can still hit them. Basically just, it's not even really much faster to do it that way, it's just a lot safer. Also, I keep failing to hear the doors open. You usually can hear the door, how it opens, but I've not been able to hear that for some reason. Probably been talking too much. Okay, and this one, yeah. It's not random which door opens, you actually know it every single time. But if you run around a little bit, how do you call that, erratic, like I do right now, it's not as easy to keep track of which door opens next. And now, it's the boss. This boss seems scary sometimes, but... Thank you. What? I have no idea why it had trouble loading the enemy and why it loaded him twice.
Little heart attack moment there. Good grief.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
This is the longest level in a run. I don't want to have to repeat it. Goodness. Okay, so what I assume happened is I just hit a very unfortunate timing on skipping the cutscene, which led into the cutscene not playing properly. The goal of this fight, now that we're all, now that we've all been shocked a little bit, is to have him get his axe stuck in the ground, which is kind of RNG, but you can manipulate attacks to favor him getting his axe stuck into the ground by being close to him. You do tank a lot of damage that way, but you should have enough health at this point. And once his axe is in the ground, he takes damage. We just twirl our weapon around and deal a ton of damage that way. That has never happened before. Indeed, I've never seen that before. In this last phase, wait, where am I? In this last phase of the fight, we just need him to run into those spiky pillars and he damages himself. We zip through that door, break down these 2 walls, and now we equip the short sword. Usually, you're supposed to come back to this level after one of the last levels of the game, once you have the dragon armor, but we can abuse some movement and just jump over there. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. Initially, this took me like 10 tries to get it once, because the angle and the precision at which you have to let go is really weird. Another thing, this door right here, I cannot zip through it. There are not
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes.
There are no enemies around, so the game doesn't lag enough and I can't zip through that door. So I have to zip to the mayor because that door is not as fake, collect the moon rune, and then go for it. Grab your bingo cards. That has never happened before. What's the next line I'm gonna say? Place your bets now. We got it. And now another like 3 hours of the show. Place your bets.
Yes,
what's the next line?
Indeed.
Is it gonna be...
Sleeping
Wait,
Village.
what lines?
Where you can buy the
I don't even know which lines are common otherwise. Okay, whatever. This level, we've been in the Sleeping Village before. The level before was called Welcome to the Sleeping Village, and this is just Sleeping Village. This is basically the revisit of it. There are humans running around that are currently being mind controlled by the bad guy in this game, which we never talked about the story, not that it's important. A bad guy called Zarok revived zombies. We're a zombie as well, but we have a conscience and want to defeat him. And there are both enemies and humans around here. If I defeat any of the humans, I'm in for a world of trouble because it actually decreases my chalice counter, and there are not enough enemies in this game, in this level, to allow you to defeat or kill a single one of the inhabitants. So I need to be rather careful. I wanted to go and defeat the wolf as well, but that would have been very risky with the child around. So I reset the room so I can then, there we go, safely kill the wolf. Now we're gonna go here. This level is really weird because there are many thin doors like this one just now, but for some reason I'm not able to glitch through those. So I actually have to play this level properly, which is very unfortunate with the sword glitch at our hands.
Playing the level properly in a speedrun? Surely not.
Yeah.
How preposterous.
Like, we don't do that. We don't do that. But this level actually forces us to do so. There's also that boss at the top, which is the main thing that we want to collect to progress the story of this level. And we have to... Like, this one I can kind of understand because the trapdoor is here. We'd have to somehow glitch through it. It doesn't really work. And the boss is a little bit too high for us to collect. We need to collect it because once we do that, all the normal humans in this level despawn. They basically hide themselves because Zarok, the bad guy, his army appears here. Those boiler guys you saw in my previous visit to this level. And they will replace every single enemy, every single one of those inhabitants, so we can actually go ahead and fill up the chalice finally. Our next box check will be a PB. I don't know. My PB, not too long ago, I actually got a really good run in this, so I don't know. We'll see about that. Now, oh wait, I wanted to go through long set. So what we want to do here is we actually want to watch this cutscene because we could zip through that door, but watching this cutscene spawns the enemies that are in front of the door that you saw right there. Wait, did he follow me? He did! What? Weird. I mean, wolves sometimes follow you up here as well, but these guys usually don't. But yeah, I need to open that door for enemies to spawn, and now there are enough enemies spawned here that I can fill up the chalice. The chalice is over here. Something we'd usually do, for those who know the game, is collect the Shadow Demon key, which is necessary in the level Enchanted Forest. We're not gonna need it. You can have one guess why that is the thing. And there's also the forest key that we need to collect, but we will not see either. Here, you hear the so inside the skull of the character we're playing, there's a little wizard-ish guy who is the green little rectangle. He helps us aiming at the enemies, but at the same time, he also helps you out with some of the levels. If you don't know where to go, he helps you out, tells you, oh, you need to go here, you need to go there, you need to go everywhere. And he tells you that I missed he told me that I missed the Shadow Demon Claw, because you can leave the level before collecting it, but we don't need it because we can glitch for doors.
Scarecrow feels prepared to be scared.
I noticed in that last level you were collecting a lot of cooked chicken. Is that sort of a thing with this series, do you know? Or
so generally there's this weapon I picked up very early into the run called the chicken drumstick. It one-shots every single enemy that I hit with it, except for bosses, of course. And it turns them into cooked chicken. Cooked chicken restore 50 HP. And basically, I collect the chicken because why not refill my health? But those chicken spawn because I'm using the chicken drumstick and hit the enemies with it in the first place.
oh wow.
Okay, so this... Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Go for
it
it.
just sounds like an incredibly useful weapon to have, especially like right at the start of the game.
It's the strongest weapon in the game because it one-shots everything that isn't the boss.
Amazing.
Now, you saw me save and quit here. There are two imp robots that you'd usually have to fight. You can skip the first one in a different way, but it's not worth it. The second one you have to skip this way. This is something that's possible on emulator as well. You just need to save the game once you hear the door closing in the background. Before the camera pans, you save the game. Then you load the game, and this would soft lock you because the doors stay closed, but the enemy never attacks. However, we can zip through doors, so it doesn't soft lock us and it just skips fights. And the original, you need to fight those guys to get runes. In this remake, you don't need to do anything. So luckily, that final chicken I had actually defeated the enemy because those farmers, I guess, are really nasty to defeat if you don't have the chicken drumstick. Nothing that we have right now deals enough damage to really defeat them. And we'd probably lose like, we'd probably lose like 5 to 10 seconds per enemy if we wouldn't have the chicken drumstick. So having that one handy in this level is really nice. I had ideas in the past to, like, because we can still go back to the first level. And I had a few ideas in the past where I would just go back to the first level and collect the chicken drumstick again, waste like 45 seconds on it. I decided to not do that because we are gonna get quite a few weapons, and this game actually uses a very wide array of different weapons, which I really like. All chalices specifically has a big variety of weapons that we use. And another thing is that at some point, like 2 levels from now, we are actually at a point of no return. Because this door glitch that we're using, more or less soft locks us if we don't get everything beforehand. Because we're gonna skip a story trigger that will block a path on the world map. We'll be able to progress on the world map, but we'll never be able to return. So we're gonna basically clear this side of the world map now, then glitch, and because we don't need to go back anyway, we don't care about it anymore. Pumpkin Gorge, one of the most difficult levels in the entire run. Because every single one of those small pumpkins, if you dash into them with triangle, which you want to dash because dashing is fast, but the dash has a hitbox. And if you hit them with an attack, they will explode. If they explode, you take 15 damage. Now on any percent, we have way less health than what I... What's the camera doing? On any percent, we have way less health than what I have right now. And you usually also enter with way less current health, meaning that this level actually takes quite a few runs back to Dan's crypt. In all challenges, not as bad because we are a bit stronger, we have better weapons, we have more health, and we defeat way more enemies, meaning that it's just generally a lot safer, and we just see more of the level. Seeing more of the level means we are also seeing more health potions, so it's not as bad. And this section with those little spinny wheels that we have to run around on, this is the only section in the entire playthrough, or speedrun, sorry, in the entire run where I actually use the analog stick, because the analog stick allows for better movement, or more, better precise, yes, English please. More precise circular movements. With the D-pad, it's super hard to do circular movements, but that analog stick actually helps out a ton here. And you see those little vines, they did quite a bit of damage as well. This level has a few excess enemies as well. We don't need to defeat all of them either, but I think there's only one enemy that we can skip in total, so we might as well just go for them all. There's no singular enemy that is far away, so we just go for all of them and skip the last one we see. Now, we have a few more here, and then one of the jankest parts of the level, which is climbing up this path. Because for some reason, Dan can just lose momentum. I also don't dash, because with dashing, I can drop off quickly. And I hit those little pumpkins if they spawn again. And if you hit them, they also move you a little bit, so they can move you off the railing. How do you play this whole game with D-pad? A lot of getting used to. It took me a while to... Oh, wait, that's it. It took me a while to get used to playing D-pad. Except for these sections, I always play with D-pad. And whenever I do a D-Rust run, it's horrible. Just because I have to get used to the D-pad again. My hands are very small though, so I don't have as much trouble with it as other people would have. I'm kind of blessed on that front, but it's not easy at all. So we're gonna get rid of those pumpkins, hopefully not get too close to the house, okay, because it starts a cutscene. And then we're gonna sword glitch into the well. So you might have seen, but there are a few green vines that we were able to destroy. And we don't have to destroy them. It would open both the house and this well, but we can glitch into it just like with anything else, because it's basically just a loading zone. So we clip into the loading zone, and then we spawn right here where we need to progress through this door, and this allows us to continue. Now there's a boss in this level called the Pumpkin Serpent, or Pumpkin King, whatever. I think it's a Pumpkin Serpent. And that Pumpkin Serpent is skippable. Just like the Stained Glass Demon, we don't have to fight him. We can skip him and move on. However, this is the other item that, the second item that gets checked in this game. There are 4 Anubis stones. We only collect 3 of them in the story because the game only checks at one point if you have 3 of the Anubis stones, because it then expects you to get the 4th one in the level that it checks you. But we never get that one because sword glitch, we don't need it. The other item is the stained glass key, because we cannot go through that door that I showed in one of the earlier levels. And the dragon armor, because you're generally not expected to be able to beat the game without the dragon armor. You are, and it's just a piece of equipment, but generally the game does not expect you to be able to beat the game, so it actually puts a hard lock into you having to have the dragon armor before you progress the story later on. There's one thing I didn't talk about in this game, and you might notice it right here in the start menu. I just flashed it real quick to show you guys, but you notice there is no back to the world map option. Once you enter a level, you have to finish it. It's both it's not good for us because it means the game has those restrictions that it wants you to collect specific items before progressing, because otherwise you can soft lock yourself. But it also is bad for us because it means that if we accidentally choose the wrong level, we have to finish it. So you always have to be mindful on the world map where you're actually going. This was a 4-cycle boss fight. You can 2-cycle him, but it's pretty hard. Not a big issue if you don't two-cycle him. Yeah. Now I use the hero sword, which is basically an upgraded short sword, and it's almost as strong as the long sword, but not quite as strong. Like right here you see I need another extra hit. But using the short sword is a lot better here because I attack a lot. I didn't really talk about that, but whenever I dash with triangle, I do light attacks in between. I do that to reset the dash, because if I just mash triangle, like you hear this choo choo sound every single time I press triangle and dash. And the amount of dashes I can do is a lot. Like I'm doing it right now. I'm just mashing and you see he slows down after every single dash. If I attack at some point in the middle of a dash, it doesn't reset my momentum, but it resets the ability to dash. So I attack at any point during the dash so I can dash right away. The way I do it usually is I just have my thumb in a way where one half of my thumb hits the X button and then the tip of my thumb hits the triangle button. That way I just constantly dash around. Now, right here,
haven't you got a crypt to go to?
Right here, we're gonna collect everything that is available in the Hall of Heroes. I collected all of the things on the right side. Now I'm gonna get the Hero's Crossbow, completely useless throughout the run. At least I haven't found any applications for it, and I don't think there will be. Then we're gonna collect the Gold Shield, completely useless throughout the run. The Longbow, completely useless throughout the run. The Flaming Longbow, actually a godsend. The Spear, completely useless throughout the run. And another health potion. Health is always nice. We have now collected everything that we could, or that we are able to, in the Hall of Heroes. So now we're gonna go back to the Galamir Plains.
Galamir Plains, big, flat, and home to a circus.
And
what are you waiting for?
Instead of sending us to the Hall of Heroes because we have weapons available, it won't do that. Now, I did get the Chalice and Gorge, yes. There's this big ass door, and we cannot clip through it. But luckily, for some reason, we can clip into the vines on the right side of it, and clipping into the vines on the right side of that door pushes us out because it doesn't want us to be inside the vines, and it luckily pushes us right into the loading zone. If you don't overclock your console, you're able to glitch through that door freely. You don't have to do it the way I did it.
Wow.
But if you do overclock it, you cannot glitch through the door because the game runs a little bit too quickly. But there's still the other way we can go about it, which is very, very nice. And that immediately skips us into Enchanted Forest. Right here, we'd have to do a side quest to open the vines that we pass through. We have to get the Shadow Demon key, which is inside the Sleeping Village, to enter this section. The sword glitch doesn't care. We just skip like 80% of the key items. Then we press on the left button twice and the right button once, and this will give us access to the last piece of the Anubis stone that we have to collect in this run. We never get to see the fourth one. We're gonna run past where it should spawn, but we're never gonna see it. And we only need 3 for the story trigger. Now we're gonna use the Flaming Longbow, not the Hero's Crossbow, not the pause menu either. The Flaming Longbow, because this actually one-shots the Shadow Demons if they take damage, because they can guard, which means they just don't take any damage at all. But the Flaming Longbow is really nice, because A, the charged attack is super strong, and B, it has burn damage, meaning that once the enemy is hit, it starts burning for a little bit, and that burn deals enough damage to kill the Shadow Demons. Unless they're guarding. They can guard at random. I have not found a consistent way to avoid it, and eventually they'll just give in and die. But usually they will try and, well, guard you to then not even take residual damage from the Flaming Longbow, but just say nope and annoy you. There's also a boss in this. The boss we would usually defeat before getting the Anubis stone, but again, we're able to skip things, so we also don't need to fight the boss. The boss is actually really obnoxious in this level, so I'm very glad that console doesn't have to fight him. You better believe emulator has to fight him, even in any percent. Okay, nice footage stuttering, but that doesn't matter too much. And and that guy. Okay. Now we need one more enemy. We're gonna get that in a bit. We're first gonna take this little elevator, right, to go get the chalice, because the chalice is actually very far away from where we are. Now we're gonna climb these mushrooms and other things that grow out of the tree. And this egg contains the chalice. Usually you have to roll it sideways, but for some reason I didn't hit it properly. Doesn't matter, we got the chalice, we're out of here. Gonna drop down here. And now we have to defeat one more enemy. Luckily, the exit of the level has 2 more enemies for us. One of them is a frog, so we're gonna go for the frog and not for the shadow demon, because the shadow demon can screw us. And we're just gonna go for the frog instead.
The frog sounds a little bit friendlier as well.
Yeah, 100%. There is a frog right in front of the shadow demon claw gate that I passed at the very beginning of the level that I could have defeated. I was thinking of maybe going for that, but I have to swap weapons anyway, so I might as well go for this one. And then, boom, Hall of Heroes.
The Hall of Heroes.
One of the longer levels right here, but I think the longest level is Pumpkin Gorge.
Not on the list.
No, the longest level is the Asylum, which we already did. Then Pumpkin Gorge, which is just slightly shorter. And I think the next longest level is Ghost Ship, mainly because the boss fight takes ages to collect. No, I don't collect. Right here, we would get the Battle Axe, which is really nice, actually. But not good enough. It's not good enough for us. And now... They can't guard if they're attacking. Oh, they can guard if they're attacking. That's the bad part. I thought for a while that you can hit them while they're attacking, but nope, if they want to, they just guard. This level on console is one of the hardest ones. Why specifically on console? Because it's the biggest level in terms of size, and it has a ton of enemies. So what we do is we equip the hero sword to deal more damage to the ones that we don't have to knock down, but we have to knock down these enemies to defeat them. These big guys. Oh god. Yeah, whatever. And this level lags like crazy. This level lags so much, especially on console, which makes it actually hard to play just because of the lag. Not even because the enemies are hard, but because the controls are slightly jank with the D-pad specifically. And the lag. You see, I lost a lot of health already. Not all of that attributed to lag, actually. Some of that was just me being a bit incompetent, but... Ooh, I have to be a little careful. But it's alright. The lag makes it a lot harder. Wow, I did not know those flying cannonballs can hit the enemy too. Okay, cool. The more you know. Okay, it's also easier to knock those small enemies into the pools as well, just because they don't have, like, these guys just have to be knocked into the pools, but the small guys have a decent amount of health too, and it's just easier sometimes. Also, sometimes, you saw that on the guy on the right just now, they can sometimes clip into the ground or into trees and still die from it, which looks pretty funny. And we're gonna go for the Warhammer, because there are 5 enemies here. Those axe guys are brutal. And the skellies are whatever. Guys with the axes are brutal though. And I take like 4 skeletons over a single axe guy. Even if the skeletons can guard. Now we zip over here, zip through this door. We're gonna heal because our health is a little bit... And now, this room is weird. Usually, you would have to collect the item and kill all the enemies. It's all chalices, so we're gonna kill all the enemies anyway, or like knock them down, whatever we need. However, on any percent, we actually defeat them as well. You can glitch through the door that you entered through. It's just, for some reason, incredibly inconsistent. Usually you get stuck inside it, but you can properly glitch through it as well. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why that guy keeps getting stuck. Let me go about a little bit slower. Mecha dev part. Oh yeah, the story of this level, by the way, is I need to collect mecha dev parts because dev is like, hey, I can help you traverse to the next level. but someone needs to do my job. So can you build a robot for me, please? Oops. Oh my god, dude. No. Don't do that.
For somebody who, like, I don't really know anything about this game or the series, sort of hearing it out of context that Death wants you to build a robot, it makes it sound like Death is actually quite forgiving, almost? I don't know.
Oh, 100%. Death knows us already. The guy that keeps narrating some of the stuff, the wizard that lives in Dan's head, he actually called Death, or the Undertaker, an acquaintance of Dan, the character we're playing, just because we are basically a zombie as well. We died already, and we've been resurrected.
Nice.
Hence the name Resurrection, which is why Death already knows who we are, and he's like, oh, the bad guy's back. Well, I guess I'll help you out a little bit, whatever. He doesn't mind it too much, but he's like, yeah, like, whatever, I can help you with.
Nice.
And the robot that Death has, like, it's already a thing, it just broke. So we're basically fixing it. Okay, this guy's... Oh, he clipped through the railing. Okay, cool. No, I'm not gonna question that. All good. And we're gonna collect that star rune. That star rune is actually very much optional with the sword glitch, but it's also very much helpful because doing the sword glitch on that star rune door specifically is unbelievably scary. Probably the scariest one, and I'm gonna show you why in a second. We're almost done with the level though, and I'm glad because health is running low and I'm getting kind of scared at this point. That pool in the middle counts as well, by the way. There are enough enemies, yes. This is probably the level with the most enemies in the entire game, and we can skip like 5 to 10 enemies in this entire level. But usually I still end up with 100% just before the end. We can skip through that door that I just ran through, but as you see right next to the door there's an acid pool, so we would drop down to the acid pool like 9 out of 10 times. And there's the good old Undertaker, and here you go, here's your Mecha Death. Now I need to be... Oh wait, no, Hall of Heroes first.
The Hall of Heroes. Like Valhalla. Only
I don't know what your thoughts are on like how this game looks, because I'm very simple. Like if a game looks good and sounds good, I'll usually just say, yeah, it's a good game. What are your thoughts? Because I think, like, of course it's trying to go for a certain vibe, like it's trying to be like muted colors. It doesn't want to be bright all the time like it is at the moment, but I think it's a good looking game.
So I myself love this game. However, the original MediEvil went for also like the jokes that are done in this game are a lot more lighthearted, and this game in general is a lot brighter than the original. The original, that one went for moody colors or like more dark colors, but this one is actually super vibrant in comparison. So a lot of people actually don't like that aspect because this one goes for much more of a joking approach on the game, a more comedic approach, which is what people usually don't like about this game. Like if people say they don't like this game, it's usually because of that. Also, this guy can sword glitch. This guy can glitch the doors. I don't know why, but he just spawns inside the door, and sometimes does quite a bit of damage.
You're not supposed to be here. Get out.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here, so he's just cheating along with me. So, Scurvy Dogs, funnily enough, this is one of the few levels in the original that never existed, but it's also in the speedrun, no matter which console, which hardware, even on emulator, this is actually a super fun level, just because no matter what category you're playing, there's always a way to go about this level in a really jank way. If in Sword Glitch, you basically play this level backwards. And on emulator you can play it backwards, but it's not necessarily the fast way to go about it. You still play it in a fairly peculiar way, and just generally this level is really unique compared to the others, just of how you go about it. Can I please do a charge attack? Thank you. And what we need to do here is basically we need to collect stuff to become or look like a pirate, so that we can get a ship to get to the Dragon Islands. And this level is... Oh, wait, I forgot to buy health. Not an issue right now, hopefully. but it will... Oh, wow. But it will make later parts harder. It's not an issue right now because I can just tank some time. Luckily, there's a fountain right here. Luckily. But I can just go and heal up in the next level. I forgot some enemies. I'm supposed to have 44% here. Well, guess I'll have to spin another round here. I forgot something. I don't know what it is, though. There's a side room or something I forgot. Actually, wait. Isn't 50% correct? I'm confused right now. Either way, we now have to do something that we haven't seen yet. You can light this club. You're supposed to do that already in Cemetery Hill, but because of sword glitch, we can skip it. Can you dodge on PSP? This is PSP, so yeah. The club is wooden. You can't do it with the wooden sword, but with the club, you can light it and light stuff like cannons or torches. And we use that to progress in some of the levels, like right here, light the cannon and get the skull and crossbones. I've also not lost a single word about the weapon that I'm using right now. I'm using the magic sword, which we got from getting the, I think, 14th chalice, which was Pools of the Ancient Dead. And this is the strongest weapon in the entire game. This weapon is almost capable of one-shotting every single enemy, or two-shotting them at least, and it deals ridiculous amounts of damage. It's crazy how strong it is. Oh, I forgot these guys. There we go. I knew I forgot something. Okay, there we go. Now we glitch back through this door and through this. But yeah, the magic sword is actually broken. Funnily enough, in the final fight of this game, the game forces the magic sword on you. Like, it automatically gives you the magic sword because you're supposed to fight the boss with it. If you unequip it and don't have it, though, you will lose it permanently and the fight will be a lot slower. So you're just like, oh, wait, magic sword? Yeah, sure. Give me that. Give me that. Give me the damage. You just take the game up on its offer. Now, there are two more graves that we have to dig out because the first one gave us a leg that we have to equip. And then now there's also the chalice in here. Not stronger than the red sword. Well, the Woden's brand is even stronger, but we don't talk about it. So I talked about 100% earlier and how I don't want to talk about it. It's time to talk about it.
Some things must be talked about. Some things you can't escape. Sometimes. Yeah.
Unlike apes that escape. Ha ha ha. Foreshadowing.
Gotcha.
All chalices is pretty much the 100% category of this game. 100% doesn't exist. But for those people who say 100% exists, it does exist. I'm joking. But 100% also has us collect the Woden's brand, which we can only collect by finishing all the minigames in that little hub area I was talking about earlier. Problem is, those minigames take 2.5 hours. So it's basically all chalices with 2.5 hours of minigames. It's not fun.
Shoutouts to speedruns that are just minigames. Shoutouts to the Mario Party folks.
So, this is not our last trip into the Hall of Heroes, but it's the last time we're gonna collect the weapon. We are gonna get. We could still collect lightning. What is it? Lightning and HP flask later on, but we don't need them. We just collected the magic longbow, and for the last fight, where we would need lightning, magic longbow is good enough. Yeah, Ryuzaki, that's the one I was talking about pretty much. The Woden's brand, the carnival one. It's terrible to get. It takes like 2.5 hours if you're fast at it. And it's not fun. These guys are merchant. And they can sell you healing. I wanted to do that in Scurvy Dogs, because in Scurvy Dogs the healing is 1, cheaper, and B, doesn't lose you as much time. But I didn't think about it. Dragon Islands. We collected the magic longbow for several reasons. First of all, it's enough. It's enough for us to finish the game with. But second of all, this level does not have a chalice. Meaning that if we would still have weapons to collect in the Hall of Heroes, this level would send us to the Hall of Heroes, even though we can skip it. So we collect the magic longbow because it's good enough for the rest of the game, even though the lightning is slightly better, but it saves us a trip to the Hall of Heroes, basically. Also, Dragon Islands is glitched. So you saw how I had to hit platforms to lower the rocks. It's offset by 2, so the leftmost platform will dislaunch the 3rd rock, the 2nd platform the 4th, and so on and so forth. The 4th platform, which launches the 2nd rock, is glitched. If you hit it once, it will not be able to be hit again until one of the rocks falls off the wall. No idea why that happens, and it took me a while to figure out that it happened, how this glitch is triggered in the first place, that it's tied to just hitting it once at any point. It's terrible. And until a few weeks ago, it was basically just a random reset point for any percent or time loss for all chalices. So this level is the one that requires the free Anubis stones, because this dragon armor allows us to go through the fire pit. You don't need the dragon armor, but it only saves a second not using it, and it's a lot harder not using it. You also tend to lose health from doing it, so I just use it. Also, this is one of the few instances in Sword Glitch where we for some reason just don't lose height using it. You saw I was just able to glitch through that little bridge that was supposed to lower by feeding the chicken and releasing a switch, but Sword Glitch, baby. We don't care about it. This level is also filled with shadow demons, and it's terrifying because you don't see it right now, but they can deplete an entire health bar with a single attack. Like with their claw swipes, they can deplete all of it. Now, these guys, I will kill this one with the magic sword, but this is the one time that please let me put the weapon. The flaming longbow is gonna make a return because they actually get one-shot by it. Even the magic sword doesn't one-shot them, but the flaming longbow, if I actually hit them, boom, one-shots them. It makes it a lot easier. I love the weapon variety that all chalices has, honestly, because those are weapons I pretty much never used casually, but or never thought to use in a speedrun either. But in all chalices, during routing, I realized how good these weapons are. Even for the shadow demons that are lurking around in this area, it's still really, really good. Now I'm gonna waste some of the arrows just to get more dashes out of it, because at this point, I will use the magic sword anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, this one's defending. Also, for some reason, I don't know why, but those shadow demons just sound like horses. I'm gonna shut up for a second to let you guys hear it. It's legit just a horse for some reason. A horse galloping. It's super weird. Now, we collected that room because we can glitch through the door, but we don't need to. Also, we don't care about that fire, because while I might get revived now, there's a fountain right here. So I don't care about it. I don't care about waiting. And this area is really interesting. So there's some shadow demons here, and if I move properly, I can kill them without them noticing me, so they can't guard in time. This one, unfortunately, I didn't, so I have to go about it again. Hey! Thank you. And now there are a few more, but I only need to kill one more. Oh, come on. And the chalice in this area is super nice, because it's right here. I am pretty confident that I'm dropping right on top of it, but I'm gonna equip the dragon armor just in case, because if I don't equip the dragon armor, I am not able to stand in the lava. Usually, this is what happens if you don't have the dragon armor. Usually you can just drop right on top of it, collect the chalice, and immediately get warped up. But for safety, you usually equip the dragon armor and just land safely. Once you got the chalice, you unequip the dragon armor, get warped back up. A nice little skip that even casually you can do it pretty easily. Just equip the dragon armor, jump down. Once you got the chalice, just unequip the dragon armor. Instead of finding the way out, just unequip it. And now we're pretty much done with this level. We just need to quickly head towards the exit.
Yes, before we're dropped on them there spikes.
There we go. We're gonna watch this cutscene. Watch the background, by the way. This is a PSP exclusive thing. The PSP is really weird. So you saw the normal background in the, well, background. But for some reason, when breaking the wall, it turns orange for a few seconds. And then it's normal again. I can't tell you why this happens. It's just a weird way of PSP loading things. You can notice similar things, for example, on Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game of all time. Also a PSP game that I run every now and then. In Crisis Core, there's a similar effect, because there's a scene where the main villain talks to you. On emulator, the scene progresses as normal. But on console, for some reason, that scene has like a 2-second freeze frame, where it just zooms, where it just doesn't zoom in on the villain's face. So you keep hearing the dialogue, but it just doesn't show you the villain's expression. Now, I don't have to kill that guy right now, but I'm doing it right now because it makes things easier for me to remember. And, oh, I did not want to drop down already. It doesn't really matter. I can just go back up. I could have, actually, I should have taken advantage of that and just collect everything. Whatever, I'm gonna do it later. Ghost Ship is one of the longest levels in the game. And it's not because the objective of these 7 powder kegs that we have to collect is difficult or they're hidden or something. They're actually very easy to collect and pretty much in plain sight. But there's a boss fight, and that boss fight takes ages. It's super long fight. It's not overly fun either, but it requires enough attention that if you don't pay attention to it, you can lose several seconds, up to like starting from 5 to 10 if you miss 1 or 2 attacks. But at some point you can just immediately launch to from like a 20-second time loss to a 45-second time loss, because you need to wait for an extra cycle. Now you can jump on this geometry a little bit. It usually tries to slide you down because you're not supposed to be on there, but we don't care. So we just jump on it. And there are a few more enemies that we collect. Yeah, go ahead.
We've seen a lot of glitches in this run. Do you have any sort of sense for how long all chalices would be if it was glitchless?
So glitchless would more or less be emulator, which would basically be no sword glitch. This right there, I wouldn't really even call a glitch. It's basically just I don't know if it would be a glitch. You just walk around on a sloped surface, really. And oh wait, I was not supposed to go down here. Whatever. It's just a slight time loss. On emulator, without the sword glitch, I think it would add an entire hour to the run. Because we do skip quite a bit.
Yeah.
We skip quite a bit in this game, and not zipping through the doors would make things quite a bit slower in most of the levels. So what I was supposed to do here, by the way, is ride this elevator and get the chalice. I just forgot to do it. Okay. But yeah, I assume that it would be an hour-ish longer. I never tried on an emulator. No sword glitch also exists as a category on console, but I don't think anybody will ever want to do that, because this game is already kind of jank and sometimes a little miserable to run on console. Not having the sword glitch doesn't make things any better. Okay, now I need to be a little bit careful with my health, because I actually need to enter the final level with a specific amount, or with at least a certain amount of health. And I'm not allowed to lose too much, because otherwise I actually straight up cannot win the fight. So I need to be a little careful, but I think I should be good. I can use the magic longbow from now to not engage too much into battle. Oh, okay, we're taking this hole. I can't. Usually I would want to land on this platform right away, but I wasn't able. Oh my god, I should have used the magic longbow. But I fell into another hole, so it's not the same. I'm gonna use the magic longbow because it one-shots these guys. It's usually not as fast to use it. The magic sword is faster, but in this case, I just want it to be a bit safer. Now there are 2 more enemies right here. This is supposed to be the first room that you enter in this level, but sword glitch allows us to skip it until now. And then we just go up. I missed an enemy somewhere. It doesn't matter because we have 100%, but I don't know which enemy I skipped. Now we're gonna go up here. Thank you, we're gonna go up here. Use the powder kegs and initiate the boss fight. I need to be a little careful now. I am a little concerned about my health, if I'm being honest. But I think I should be alright, because I am gonna get some more health during the next section. If I'm really worried, I could always go back to Dragon Islands and just heal up there, because there is a fountain and I shouldn't take more than 100 damage. But I don't know. Oh, come on. So every single cannon shot here loses me like 3 or 4 seconds if I don't hit it. It doesn't matter too much until I miss like the 4th or 5th one, because then it introduces an entire extra cycle of some more enemies. You're gonna see that in a bit. After he passes the middle, once he hits the middle section, next time he'll summon zombies or skeletons, which we're gonna try and defeat with the Warhammer, because the Warhammer, we got it super early, but it's still super good. If anything, because the AoE of the charge move gets the enemies away. Oh, I'm burning. That's not good. Oh, I missed again. If I would have 1 more chicken drumstick to use, it'd be much easier decision, but... I'm wondering, what's the easiest and safest level to get some health in? It might actually be Scurvy Dogs. Enchanted Forest is not easy at all. Haunted Ruins, actually, now that I think about it. I might go safe and go... Yeah, I'm gonna go safe and heal, because if I don't enter the final fight with enough health, I'm kind of soft-locked in there and can't really win. And I don't want that to happen. I'd rather finish the run and tank like 2 minutes.
I was about to say, there's certainly no shame in playing it safe, especially if there is a chance that you can get soft locked in the final boss. That doesn't sound like fun.
Nope. Because again, you cannot leave the levels and oh, am I gonna get an extra cycle? No. Okay, whatever.
Bosses are playing nice.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get to see how Haunted Ruins looks like in any percent, because I'm basically gonna walk the 80% route. Okay. Yeah, let me just equip Hero Sword.
The Hall of Heroes, like Valhalla.
Wait, I don't need to.
To say we're not affiliated.
I don't need to enter the level. So this last chalice actually gives me HP. Usually I would not go ahead and collect it, but desperate times call for desperate actions or desperate measures or whatever the saying goes. There we go, health bottle. That's enough health.
Nice.
So we're off to the finale.
Zarok's lair. Ooh, scary.
Okay, so I did collect the lightning, so I might as well show you what it does. Pew, pew, pew.
Ooh, that looks fun.
Just shoot some lightning. It's not that good though. At this point, I've grown to like the magic longbow more. It takes a little bit more skill to use and a little bit more aiming, but it actually one-shots these guys, can one-shot multiple ones of them too, and it's just easier to use. Usually I'd finish this run with 5 health flasks, but I needed that 6th one. I needed it. If I wouldn't have gone for that, I would have been in big trouble. In any percent, it's not as big of an issue because in any percent, you still have some uses of the chicken drumstick at this point. But not in all chalices. I just need to make sure that I don't get hit too often until this section actually requires me to have some health. Oops. Okay, that's all right. Magic sword. I'm actually gonna try something that I never tried before. It won't cause any issues, but just in case. It'll provide me with some data and... Oh, I cannot save. Okay, never mind. I thought I might be able to save the game, but I can't.
Game said no. It knows that you're on a marathon, that's it. It's just like, you want to save. How dare you? How dare you think you want to save here?
So this guy shoots arrows. He shoots 6 arrows. After he shoots 6 arrows, he runs around for a little longer. And then he goes crazy pretty much. But instead of counting all his 6 arrows, I count until 8. Because once I do that, I know when he's gonna... basically, it's a set timer on when he's gonna go crazy. And if I'm gonna be too close, he will not actually go crazy and be vulnerable. Which is why I want to try and run at him preemptively. That's why I don't count 6 arrows, but I count 8 arrows, so 2 arrows that don't even exist. And that'll allow me to have the perfect timing to dash into him and lose as low amount of time as possible. By the way, without the magic sword and any percent use the warhammer here, you have like 3 extra cycles or something, like 3 extra parts we have to hit him in both phases. And the magic sword is just that strong. Okay, 1 more cycle. Usually you'd free cycle this, but I missed quite a few hits at the beginning. There we go. And now he's gonna give us 100 health. Which is good for us. Because now we have enough. We need like, I think it was 470, 480 health for this next section, and now we have 510-ish. It'll be a tad bit slower than usual, but you guys who played the original might know this section. You have undead warriors, the enemy has undead warriors. You cannot damage the enemies, so what you have to do is you have to heal your troops, transfer them your health to have them fight for you. Problem is, our health is limited. And it's not like, oh, you drop to 1 HP, you're just not gonna give them more health. No. If you drop to 0 HP, you die. So you have to be a little bit careful. And especially towards the end, I have to make sure that I still give a few bursts of health. But also, I have to watch out that I don't die. So usually I get myself down to like 5 HP. But if a single one of my soldiers die, I will run into issues. Because it's already kind of tight with the health we have. But if we... Oh my god, please. But if any of them die, then then they will have 2-on-1. And if they 2v1 any of my soldiers, they will die. Like my soldiers will die. Still have a little bit of health left. On any percent, this is a little easier because we have the chicken drumstick. And having the chicken drumstick just leaves us some health reserves. Okay, 17, 12, 7. Okay. This is the scary part. Luckily, my soldiers are pretty much done. But I have to watch now how I hopefully win the fight. Okay, one of my soldiers died. I cannot help anymore. If I start helping at this point, I die. So now I have to hope that I win, but luckily I had enough health. There we go. We won. Okay. Every single one that survives gives me 50 health back, by the way, so I'm just gonna collect them all and have some health back, which is really nice. And now for the final boss. Zarok. Turned into a snake. I think it originally turns into a dragon. I recently figured out that you can recycle him, even though back in there I thought 4 or 5 cycles is the best you can do. So yeah, let's go and hopefully free cycle him. If I actually hit him, please. Oh my god, please, no! I whiffed an entire hit. Okay, 4 cycle, I guess. Dash at me. There we go. Now I'm gonna hit his tail. I'm gonna spin attack as normal, because it just deals the most damage, has the most hitboxes. And I'm gonna jump while doing so. And usually that'll allow me to hit him a lot more. This was kind of poor though. Time's coming up soon, by the way. Once this boss is done, he'll start going down, and then once the cutscene, once the game fades out to black, basically, that's when time's coming up. But I'm gonna say it one more time once it comes up. Oh yeah, he stomps twice. Okay, now 5 shots again. So I have to hit his mouth 2 to 3 times to have him reveal his tail. And his tail is the weak spot, basically. If I time my jumps well, I can kill him at this point, but I wasn't able to do so. So it's a 4 cycle. Okay, that's all right. And by running on this height, I can basically... Oh, I messed up a little bit. I can basically time where his tail is gonna be. And that's it. Time's gonna come up in around 10-ish seconds, because... Wait, what are you doing? Thank you. Yeah, he has to play through his animation for that. So once he does a little dance and falls down, game's gonna fade out, and that's gonna be time, which is right now. Time.
GG.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. I feel like I got a little bit quick at the end, but yeah, that's pretty much MediEvil Resurrection. How much was that now? 123.04. Yeah, 123.04. That's not too bad. It's like 7 minutes off my PB, but that's why I put the estimate on 125 just to make sure. It's a super fun game, guys. The way they went about remaking it is super nice. I like the approach they took. It's fun to play. It's a little jank, but that's what emulators for. Less frame drops. You can play with analog stick. It's more comfortable. You don't have to sword glitch. Emulator has its upsides. Personally, I play it on console exclusively, almost exclusively. But there's the option to play emulator, there's the option to play on console. We have leaderboards for them. We don't have many active runners, but we're almost happy to see new people joining in and trying to get times down as much as possible. Now, that being said, I believe there's gonna be some monkey business going on. Next, sorry for the bad joke. No, we're gonna have, was it Saru SaruSaru Daisaksen from SRGT Silent. Sorry if I took on your role here, by the way. Go ahead.
That's all right. That's all right. You are indeed correct. So thank you. Yeah, that was a brilliant run. Thank you so much. If people want to see more of you, because I don't see why not. Dessa is a lovely human being. Where might they find you?
Thank you. Oh, yeah, so I generally stream towards like evening, nighttime, European time, so it would be somewhere around now and an hour from now where I usually start. On twitch.tv/Dessa35. Soon I can hopefully drop the numbers, but not yet. Right now it's Dessa35. And yeah, I generally stream MediEvil Resurrection. I talked about Crisis Core for a little bit, and my main games are, I actually have one of the copies right here, Kingdom Hearts games. Those are my main 4. Those are my favorite games to play and speedrun. And yeah, I'm generally streaming any of those. Try to go for fancy categories, for any percent categories, all that kind of stuff. And if you guys are interested, I'd love to see some of you there in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much once again, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Do stick around. We are going to be having some monkey action, some monkey business, as Dessa has said, with SRGT Silent. So do stick around.
Saru is a good game. Like, you guys should give it a watch. It's super fun.
Let's go. Hello everybody, welcome back to Going Places. This is the GDQ Hotfix show where we go around the world looking at region exclusive games as well as games that we can play whilst we're on the go. So on our handheld devices or dare I say mobile phones. If you are interested in submitting for this hotfix or any of the other hotfixes, we have a page on the Games Done Quick website where you can find out more about the hotfixes. And hey, we're actually looking for some more shows as well. So if you have any smart ideas, then you should definitely throw it our way. Who knows, maybe you could be the next hotfix host. But we are now going to be focusing on Super Mario not Mario Maker, no, not Mario, it's not Mario Odyssey, it's not Monkey Odyssey, it's got some sort of gimmick coming from Odyssey, I feel. But yes, what is this game? I feel like I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so it's all over to you, SRGT.
I've never thought about it being inspired or Odyssey being inspired by this, but I could see that. This is SaruSaru Big Mission, or known in English as either Big Mission or Master Moves, though some of us here will disagree if you call it that. But yeah, I'm going to be Sergeant Silent, or Sarge, here for the run. We're going to be running all monks, which means we're going to catch some of the monks. And I have with me on comms B-Man, Rules U21. Thank you for joining me, B-Man. Hopefully you're doing well. All right. And if we're good on tech side, we can get started as soon as I hit this confirm prompt.
Yes, we are good to go.
So that's
all over to you.
Awesome. All right, so in that case, let's just go on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Good
go. Luck. Thank you. All right, so right off the bat, we're gonna be introduced to the speed tech of this game, along with a couple other things. Like we skipped the cutscene there, and you're gonna see a monkey on the right. We're gonna immediately skip that monkey, and you might be saying, but it's all monks. Don't worry about it. It's fine. There are a lot of monkeys in this game, and the way this game is structured, we are going to have to deal with every stage functionally twice. In the meantime, B-Man, would you like to explain the main form of movement tech in this game?
So the fastest way to move in this game is by walking on the ground. With certain types of monkeys, they kind of run faster, but for the most part, being able to jump has a tiny little boost in momentum. It makes it just a tiny bit faster than running as a normal monkey.
Yep. So what we'd like to do at the end of the level, I colloquially call it a dunk. You're functionally putting, well, the rough story of this game is we're playing as Kakeru from Ape 1, who you guys might know. And him and Natsumi and the rest of the friends from the series have been shrunk teeny tiny because Spectre has decided that in order to defeat us, he's going to do that. So now we're teeny tiny. So we're going to go for a cool skip here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it first try or second try. This guy's being real mean today here. One more try, and then I'll just do it the easy way. There we go. So, the way catching works in this game is pretty complicated, but the important... This is also going to happen a lot. We're just going to get bullied by every monkey. If you catch a monkey from the front, it's probably not going to work, especially if you are another monkey. If you catch a monkey from the back, it has a good chance of working, but monkeys in this game will basically do whatever they want all the time. So fully expect for a monkey to just decide, no, not today, stream. Literally nothing is going right. This run's already great.
I'm glad that it wasn't only me who thought that Sarugetsu walked so that Mario Odyssey could run.
Absolutely, yeah. I kind of feel bad because I've never played Mario Odyssey, but I would say that is not a full statement. We have become Helmet. All right, so here we're getting introduced to the grapple mechanic of the run. If you guys have ever played this game casually, you will probably remember the grapple mechanic. It's probably the worst controlling mechanic in the entire game, because the way momentum works in this game isn't exactly what you would think it would be. Momentum actually stops the moment you hit your peak. So if you let go of your swing at the end of your peak, you're just gonna drop straight into the pit, if not go backwards. Very, very off-putting. All right, so we're gonna move into level 3, and we're gonna get introduced to our next monkey here. This is going to be the parachute monkey, which is going to be a pretty big mechanic. But in the meantime, I mean, anything you'd like to add, B-Man, while we make our way through the level? And do not do low percent. Don't worry, we won't be doing that.
Every monkey has their own like special kind of gimmick to them. Parachute monkeys can obviously deploy parachute and fly for short distances. A lot of you saw earlier there was a monkey with a gun. There's a monkey with a grappling hook. They all, are put in places that you need some of them to progress, but other ones you can just outright skip. We want to collect quote unquote all of the monkeys, but for the most part we just need to collect the ones that are as close to the main path as we go through. And then on revisits, because there are some monkeys that only unlock after you beat the game, we need to come back, catch them as well. Whatever monkeys that are close to where those monkeys would be, we're going to leave for revisits. And the great thing about revisiting in this game is that you don't need to finish the level in the revisits. You can just completely quit out once you have all the monkeys and it counts.
So, right there, you saw me get bullied by enemies. This game, I'd say, is pretty notorious among the people who have played it as Sony just decided, you get an enemy, you get an enemy, you get an enemy.
Everyone gets enemies.
It's not even a joke. There are like 3 enemies right here. There are enemies everywhere. You thought the monkeys were a problem with the randomness. The enemies, it's very realistic that I will just be punched out of the air or knocked around while I'm trying to shoot enemies or monkeys, especially later. So right here, we're actually gonna sit in a very specific spot. The spot's nice, but it's more so the angle. What we want is to be able to hit the fan in front of us while also pushing all of these drill borgs away. So you saw, unfortunately, my spot was slightly off. That drill borg was able to snipe me. But essentially, what you do is you simultaneously push the borgs back and activate the platform in order to get across that gap. And there's no like halfway point or anything, or there's a halfway point, but other than that, if you miss and jump early, you fall. So this is our first boss. Would you like to explain this guy?
Yeah, so this guy is going to kind of charge around and try to barbecue you. But he has a weak spot on his back, so we take this monkey with a gun and we just completely like lay into him to beat him in one cycle.
There we go. He takes 10 shots just like that and he's done. Now, if you were playing this game casually, that gun monkey we picked up is actually optional. Normally that room only has monkeys based on who you catch in the level. That's how bosses work. So if you had skipped the gun monkey, which again isn't required, he would you'd only have 3 and you wouldn't have that gun monkey. But the time it takes to get that gun monkey and then do what we call fast red is enough time that it's worth catching that gun monkey. It's very nice to do that. All right, so now we're moving into Kotodaima Museum, which is one of the first levels that introduces a couple mechanics. It introduces red monkeys, it introduces blue monkeys, and all in all, it has one of the most annoying catches, especially for newer runners, but for older runners, this monkey can Are you serious, dude?
He's in the way.
Get out of the way. All right, I'm just gonna catch him. This is ridiculous. She wouldn't catch him first visit, but he's literally blocking the path. So there's a very specific cycle or movement that we do here. We do 4 punches, wait for the flame breath, do another 4 punches, rinse and repeat to get through. And now we're gonna get to ice. So ice, fastest form of movement on ice is to actually punch up it. And now what I'm going to try to do is specifically set it up so that I can catch this monkey from behind. I missed it. I didn't do the setup quite right. So what I'm going to do is go for a backup strat where I just knock him senseless and easy catch. Good
backup.
What's up?
You can continue
thank
the
you.
level with the red punching monkey, but it gets very hairy when you have to climb up this next room, just dodging these snowballs.
Oh yeah. This next room is on some cycles, and you can see I'm holding the square button to run really fast. Your movement needs to be pretty precise in that room, and your cycle needs to start correctly, or those snowballs will just absolutely pummel you, which is really unfortunate and is very hard to do on the red monkey, let alone on the blue monkey. We actually got introduced to a new blue monkey. This guy is only in this version of the game. It's a motorcycle monkey, and he's pretty cool because not only does he have blue monkey, oh, that's unfortunate. Not only does he have the speedy blue monkey tech, but you can see there's a horn on the front of his motorcycle, and that will just absolutely decimate anything in front of it, including this guy. So as I bonk into that rocket launcher monkey, I can immediately dunk on him, and what that's going to let me do is get what is a really nice catch. Because he's in the middle of an animation. Essentially, if a monkey's in an animation, I'd say there's a 95% chance you catch them. I say that because there are some monkeys where if they're in the middle of an animation, there is a 0% chance you catch them. Thankfully, that monkey's out of the way, but they will do that. I was not kidding when I said monkeys are completely random in this game. All right, so this introduces a really fun mechanic. Would you like to explain how monkeys at the start of stages work?
Yeah. So you start off with just the lab, who is been modified to be a helmet, and that the health of that drains relatively quickly if you don't get onto a monkey. And so you really need to just get the first or second monkey that is, in the way of your path.
Right, but sometimes that monkey, while you're locked into spawn position, the monkey is not. So the devs kind of just placed stuff without thinking about how they'd interact with each other. So you can spawn into a level and the monkey sees you spawning and is already running around doing whatever the heck he wants. That's one of the biggest sources of randomness, is just what that archer monkey wants to... Really? What that archer monkey wants to do. So thankfully he went to the correct side. And now we get another key monkey, and we're gonna move into a new mechanic, which is hammer monkeys. Would you like to talk about the puzzles in this game, which kind of start getting introduced here?
Yeah, so you have these little push buttons that you need to hit down with the hammer. Very simple puzzles. There's a door. Sometimes there's gonna be multiple buttons that you kind of have to very easily figure out what they want you to hit. But they start getting more complicated.
Puzzles. Puzzles in the lightest sense. Also, these are called walls of death. We call them that because they're absolutely abysmal to climb. You saw I had to do some reacting to how the enemy patterns were and stuff. That's pretty typical. There'll be more annoying ones later. I also saw someone call that a gecko monkey. I would like to state that while it may be a gecko, you are wrong because it is a frog monkey and you can't convince me otherwise. When I learned this game, I believe I learned it as frog monkey because that's what they called it in the run, and that's been stuck in my head forever. It is now frog monkey. I'm sorry, but that's what it is, and that will be further reinforced later when we get to a skip we're going to try to do.
I can't
say
for certain if he's a gecko or a frog, but I can say he has yellow suspenders and a bow tie, and he looks really dapper.
He is a dapper monkey.
What a sophisticated fellow.
It's a shame we see so few of them. In fact, this game overall, most monkeys, like this game borrows a lot from the Ape Escape 3. So a lot of monkeys now have costumes, which means they have special mechanics and special gimmicks. As B-Man went into earlier, some of them have guns. I don't know who gave the monkey a gun. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But a lot of the time, we'll see like 1 or 2 of that type of monkey, which is a shame because some of the monkeys in this game are actually really fun. Some of them, like this guy, are not nice. Earlier during practice, I have embarrassed myself at GDQ.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. All right, so we're just going to snipe this button instead of snipe the button. Yeah, it's very possible to, when you attempt to grab that monkey for the game to just take the jump momentum and send you straight off of the cliff. Thankfully, it didn't happen, but then we got karmic retribution and just walked off the ledge anyway, so it's what it is. Here's our first puzzle where we have a lot of buttons, but it's only certain buttons to open the door. I can't really tell which buttons it is. I just hit buttons until I get lucky, but you know, the door's open consistently for me, so it works. Oh, also, the way the camera works in this game. I can control the camera with both the, because I'm playing on a PS TV with a DualShock 3, I can control the camera with both the D-pad or the second analog stick. And all of my camera movement in this is going to be D-pad because if I touch the second analog stick, you're going to start seeing the camera do some real wonky stuff. Yo, I just got sniped from behind there. Excuse you. Also, the Zodiac monkeys are back. That is Scorpio. Dude, they are bullying me. Did you see that? That's the second time I've been sniped going through a wall.
Yeah, these enemies are ruthless.
Speaking of ruthless, everyone's favorite minigame is coming up. All right, I'm gonna make sure I do this correct. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so this is a little Simon Says minigame. Thankfully, we only have to do it, what, 3 times here?
Well,
no, just...
Well, twice, depending on how many you include the other one. Yeah. It's if you want to find a skip for this game, please skip this.
Yeah, they're kind of the most arduous sections where the game just stops and you got to do something. Thankfully, the third time that this would come up, we do have a skip for it, but we can't the first 2 times. This is Monkey Blue. So, yeah. So normally you wouldn't have this rocket monkey if you were doing, say, an any % run, but because we went out of a way to catch him first visit, so that we now have him for this fight. If you guys saw the tweet that GDQ pushed out, this is what the... Okay, rocket. Nice lock on. This is the fight from the tweet in particular. So this is the most resource intensive in terms of catches and dunks. In order to beat Blue the fastest way, it takes... Excuse me, rockets. It takes a total of 9 catches throughout this fight. You can defeat him in only 7 catches. Me and another runner, Yuri SR, were routing what we call low %, which is to beat the game in as few catches as possible. Which is only 7 catches, but it's like
8 seconds slower or something. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he's incredibly resource intensive. But thankfully, he's a simple rinse and repeat, stun, pull, hit, and move on. So this is Iwajirumi Lab, which introduces a ice mechanic. Ice is very fun. Not really. If I go too fast, it is very possible for me to slide directly into the water and freeze the water over my head. That has happened before, but it won't happen. We can also use ice to freeze ourselves and other monkeys. The only real tight cycle we needed was to get past those ice jets there, and I'm glad we got it. And now we're gonna go for everyone's favorite mermaid dunk. You want to take this
I'm waiting
one?
for it.
How it works?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
So, mermaid monkeys, they're supposed to come up onto land, but it's very random how the monkey behaves. So, Sergeant, you can see he just dunked the monkey in the water. But if he failed at that and didn't catch him, he would start drowning in the water and have to either jump out or lose a life. Actually, not lose a life.
Yeah.
The cool thing
banana,
about this is if you were to fall in a void or drown or some other way of like essentially dying, you lose a single point of your health. However, if you lose all of your health and get hit again, the helmet will be knocked off of the monkey, and you'll have a limited time to jump back onto another monkey. However, if the thing gets hit again, then you just completely lose a life. Also, you saw a little tiny cool skip right there at the end. Instead of hitting the last wall, they just had the little posts that mark the end of the level. You can just jump on top of that and jump right over the last wall.
Yeah, you're supposed to take those mechs you saw me get in and go all the way through the level in them, but they're very slow, and yeah, you can just hop over the wall. Walls are a suggestion. All right, so we're gonna go for YOLO motorcycle, you think, right? We should do that?
Yeah.
Show everything off? All right.
You gotta do it.
So normally...
You gotta do it.
What's up? Oh, yeah, I do. All right. So normally you wouldn't catch this blue monkey, but again, this is all monks. I'm for some reason in an any percent mindset right now. I swear I've not ran any percent in forever. I don't know why any percent words are coming out of my mouth. So you'll notice that while I'm doing these switches, after it ends, that I'm going to actually run into the switch a little bit. Remember I said momentum in this game is real wonky? Hey, I got chefed. What? Huh? What? Excuse me? What? Momentum, you can actually store momentum while running into, yeah, let's go.
We got YOLO bike. So,
yeah,
that monkey is very volatile. If you miss him, he starts running back and forth on that conveyor belt at a very fast speed, and he just knocks anybody off.
Yeah, monkey will go in.
If you grab the green monkey that we didn't necessarily get at the time, you can use him and sacrifice a bit of time to shoot the. I'm blanking. Shoot the bike monkey with missiles so that you can catch him a bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Normally you would do that, but we went for the YOLO monkey catch, which saves just a teeny bit of time. Wow, that Desperado Borg is...
Did you shoot the wall behind you on accident?
Yes. Well, it was on accident, but also, like, it worked.
Yeah, this would have been another level where the little post, you could just jump on top of that and go over, but that was interesting.
Yep. So, you'll notice I was ADSing, or aiming down sights. Weird little quirk of this game, if you aim down sights, you actually fire 33% faster. So that's going to be used a few times throughout the run. All right, Cake Land. We're going for blue strats, and we're getting them. Oh, I don't think we're getting them. Damn.
Yeah, this monkey kind of saw you a bit earlier. Are you going to go for the water? No.
Yeah. No, because I need this monkey
So
anyway.
one of the things you can do in this game is these lily pads throughout the game are one of the worst things in this game to try to control over. You will pretty much drown yourself most of the time, but you can actually take the lab just on its own, and you can jump across the lily pads as long as you just spam jump and go in a straight line. Very hard, but it saves you having to, get a couple different monkeys if that monkey gets away.
Yeah. So we're going to do a small skip here. We're going to get on a specific spot, which is going to spawn this platform on the other side of the gap instead of making us take the fan monkey across. And this is the second biggest skip, is functionally taking this speedy blue boy through the entire stage. Now, if it wasn't for the layout of the secret monkeys in this level, I would have actually tried to show off the lily pad jumps. But unfortunately, this stage is one of the more unique stages, so I can't do that. So we're gonna go for a completely unnecessary strat. We're gonna line up and try to do what we call rope jumps here. We're gonna try until this monkey runs out. And we're gonna jump up this rope, which for some reason has collision.
No, so close.
Dang it!
Oh, that was really close.
One more try, because we have the time.
You can do this.
The lineup's pretty precise. Because remember how I said that the camera matters in this quite a bit. If I tap the camera the wrong way, oof. Okay, I got one more monkey I'm willing to try it on. I haven't practiced this strat in a while. One more.
That's good.
And then we're just gonna do the level. YOLO. No! If you tap it at all. This strat saves like 6 seconds if you get it. So it's clearly not saving that time anymore.
We're just doing it out of principle. Come on. I believe.
I believe. I got it. Come on. For funsies at this point. For funsies, Sarge. You got this. You gotta show GDQ. I said I had one. I meant I had one more. Right, this is the last one.
Can you even double jump with the pumpkin?
We're gonna find out today, chat. All right, come on. I have to do this for GDQ.
Ooh.
No, I slid off. One more. All right, one more. last one.
Oh, come on.
Okay, come on. Pumpkin's so big. I'm not used to his hitbox. Oh, get out of the way. Come on. All right, let's try it. Come on, Sarge, line it up. You got this. Dang it.
It's all right. We have a generous estimate.
I tried, people. It's nice if you get it, but unfortunately, like I said, I wasn't practicing it, and then we decided right at the last second, it's like, let's go for it. So
you were talking about camera sensitivity. Is that something that can't be changed in the settings, or does it just not make sense?
No. There's no sensitivity. The camera is controlled both by the D-pad and the analog if you set it to that. But the camera is also controlled by what direction your monkey is facing. So you can actually manipulate your camera twice, which, yes, you can make the camera do weird movements, and you really don't want to do that. So every time I jumped, the camera would follow my monkey and redirect, which makes that potentially hard, especially if you do it on an analog stick. Since analog has more inputs it can follow. This game is omnidirectional, so that means your camera will follow your monkey everywhere you go. All right, so here we're gonna get Santa Claus, and we're gonna go finish the level. So shout outs to another runner of the game, Bushi, who introduced us to this little fun trick here. Right? How much time does this save me, man?
Saves all the time from all the bad kids in the world. Santa's just giving them banana
all the
peels.
time. Yep. A banana away keeps the doctor away. Eat your bananas, kids. I'm not even going to tell you how much time I spent on that rope. It doesn't matter.
Not at all. It was all for the clout.
for the club. All right, so yellow. Yellow is probably one of the hardest bosses in the run. Your movement in it needs to be pretty precise. Even the slightest mistake will mess it up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get yellow stuck on a strawberry, and then we're going to move very specifically to manipulate him into hitting us, which will cancel his spin cycle. And then we're going to just be able to use this flame monkey. And a mild flashing warning, by the way, this fight's gonna happen again. We're just going to use the flame to continually damage him on the first frame possible, drop a butter knife on him, and get another 2 flames on him and finish off Uki Yellow. Yellow monkey. All right, so that's in any percent run, that would be about halfway. For all monks, that's I don't know, that's like a third of the way through the game. So it's a good point to learn up to if you're trying to get into this game. Oh man, my DualShock 3 disconnected. Why you do that? There we go. This run is already amazing, guys. Thanks so much for having me. This is Daisaku-san, and I'm really liking this. My DualShock 3 has been Are you kidding me? Has been misbehaving a lot lately, and I don't know why. Even though DualShock 3 is objectively the best controller for PlayStation, no hot take, no cap.
Hey, that's all right. You if anything doesn't work in this run, you can just blame your controller.
Exactly. I'm already So that box right there, that was an example of the camera deciding no. You saw the camera whip a lot there. That's just the camera. It was also the DualShock 3. Yes, totally DualShock 3.
It's never the speedrunner's fault. It's always
never.
something else. Yeah.
You want to stand on that box because the gun enemies will just constantly interrupt you. But they can't hit you on top of the box.
Yeah, it's weird. The gun enemies just can't aim up, which is nice. Also, remember this spot. This is going to be one of the biggest differences from when we get to the revisits. Speaking of revisits, since we have a fun little section here coming up, if you guys have never played an Ape Escape game, normally the way the game works is at a certain point, it will either kick you out of the level or it'll kick you out of the level, or you'll reach the end of the level with only certain monkeys acquired. And the gimmick of Ape Escape has always been you have to revisit the level with better gadgets or later gadgets in order to catch all of those monkeys. So because this game is much more linear, the way the devs decided to do that, since there's no gadgets in this game, is after you beat the boss, the final boss, as B-Man mentioned earlier in the run, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to come back to every single stage to get the monkeys that have respawned, which in a lot of the stages, that means go to the very end of the stage, because the devs thought it would be real cool if we made the players play through the entire stage a second time, right? So right there, we're gonna get a instant dunk. That's really cool. And then we're gonna do Ferris wheel. Now, Ferris wheel's pretty challenging if you'd like to take this one.
Yeah, so he's gonna wait until he gets to the top of this first one. He's gonna jump over to the second to skip a couple cycles, jump immediately again, and that puts us on a good cycle that come up, and we finally get to the rope that we can grab onto. Otherwise, you'd have to wait until the two Ferris wheels meet up, and then they have to go all the way around on the second one again. It's quite the long way, but we can skip a couple cycles with jumping across the cars.
Yeah, this unfortunately the green rocket monkey didn't behave there, but the Ferris wheel, if we had sat and waited around the entire Ferris wheel, it would have been, I think it's like 24 seconds. It's like a 16-second time loss to actually do the Ferris wheel casually. So even though I just did a few jumps there, they are deceptively challenging. Also, shout outs to this wall, which does not break under the right conditions, but we take
It's also
those.
another wall you can just jump over with the little post next to it.
Yeah, you can, yeah. They made sure their pay was validated. It's a good game, guys. Please play Ape Escape 4. I mean,
This game is essentially Ape Escape 4. It picks up the story immediately after where Ape Escape 3 lets off. It has the same kind of level structure and same boss fights and stuff. The only thing is you just don't have a net.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends how you define net. If you define net as object that catches monkeys.
Yeah, you do. You have the helmet.
Yeah, net. So remember we talked about the parachute monkeys earlier. This level, you are going to get to know the parachute monkeys quite well. After we get through this wall, oh, excuse me, I just got bumped off the wall by that rabbit monkey. Okay.
Just Goomba stomped you.
He really did. He went whoop. All right, is this guy gonna behave? No. Well, maybe. I can't dunk. All right, we'll be back to this level as well. And now, if you'd like to explain the trick that is coming up, B-Man, well,
yeah.
head
So this
on
is
in.
a really big skip coming up. Basically, it wants you to take one of those grappling hook monkeys and go across a couple things, and basically go through the level normally afterwards. However, we want to keep this parachute monkey, because if we keep him, we get to skip all of the remaining puzzles. The only problem is we have to cross a gap that you normally can't make. However, if we get on top of this little structure here in the middle, and then we can wait for the moving hot air balloons to come into a cycle that we are favorable, we can jump off of the end of one of them and jump all the way to the end of the puzzle here. And doing that just allows us to skip every single thing from here on out. There's a lot of stuff where you have to push blocks and you have to, you know, go around in circles and stuff. We don't want any of that. We can just fly over it all.
Yep, and we will be doing that skip a second time because of how this level is designed. But it is by far the most significant skip in the game, especially because if you try to do that little section of 3 balloons casually, yeah, if you thought the rope swings were bad, this is the level where you really decide the rope swings are bad. Those balloons have their own momentum coupled with your momentum, coupled with the ledge design is actually skewed. A lot of people will lose all of their bananas and lives on that level. It's very challenging to do that the intended way.
I think that grappling hook monkey just before it actually has more health than normal grappling hook monkeys, just because of that.
I've never noticed that, but if that's true, that's quite funny.
This level has these zombie monkeys in them, except that they move extremely slow. And the centaur monkeys move extremely fast. They run very quick. So we want to spend the least amount of time in the... Oh, that would have been a good dunk.
That would have been, but he got a little too far away. All right, he's going to go to this one. So now I got to run across the lily pads and wait. Yeah, you can dunk this guy before he goes in the water, but unfortunately he noticed me a little too early, which all depends on the path you take to get to him, how monkeys will notice you. So now we have to take him up, and unfortunately he does not move very fast either, and we just have to accept that and move on through to another monkey. The annoying thing about this stage is that the devs actually made it so that with one exception, you need every monkey in this stage to progress through this stage. And this stage has quite a lot of monkeys in it. So, and that might not seem to be a problem at first. You're saying, but it's all monkeys. You needed them anyway. The final secret monkey in this stage is also at the end of this stage. So we have to catch functionally every monkey, not once, but twice to get through this stage, which is really, really tedious. But that's what it is, and we will pull it through, and we will do it. More walls you could just kind of hit Also, this is a nice little spooky scare level, so jump scare coming up.
What do you mean? It's just a normal.
So this is none of the monkeys in this game have the same name as Ape 3, I don't think, which concerns me because how many monkeys does Monkey Park actually have?
Well, obviously, this is Escape 4.
yeah, right. They got new monkeys. This is Jason, I like to call him, and this is the hardest puzzle in the game, I like to call it. Okay. Well, now we wait.
These buttons just go in and out, and there's no indication of when they're going to come up or not. You just have to hope that it lines up, and you pick the right one.
Yep. And you'll also notice that the camera whipped. Earlier, I was talking about the camera. The cool thing is that whenever a cutscene, wow, buddy, whenever a cutscene takes control, yo, thanks for the in chat. The camera will reorient itself to whatever way your monkey's facing. Also, we got these axes. B-Man, how would you like to describe these to everybody?
Hitboxes are not a thing on certain stuff. At least not what they're supposed to be. Ooh.
Yeah, those axes.
Nice catching this knight. This guy, he just runs people down if you let him get away.
Yeah. We found a manipulation for him for any percent, but this is not any percent, so we have to catch him. And now we're gonna do something really cheap here. You're intended to fly through this section, but remember, we were talking about axes. Axe hitboxes are mean. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna casually hug the wall to get through that section, because ain't nobody have time to get hit in the middle of that flying section and have to redo the entire room. It will put you very far back if you get hit. All right, so the clock has struck midnight. This is Monderella. So you'll notice every 3 levels is a boss. Essentially every boss, this is a running theme of Ape Escape, starting with the second game. Okay. Every boss, really? Come on.
She's not happy with you.
The boss will always control what I would like to say is 3 areas, 3 to 4 areas, and then we'll be themed off the level we just did. So we're getting introduced to Uki Pink, who is based on that. And earlier you saw we rescued Key, who's one of the friends. But in this cutscene, you see, wait a second, that's Key right there. What is going on? I'm gonna focus on Pink if you would like to take this one.
So the way that you beat Pink in this one is she has 2 phases where she's kind of like in her nice happy phase, and then the second one is where she's in like her mean edgy phase. Really what we want to do is get her into the middle of the stage here, and she teleports a lot. Thankfully she teleported right back, and we can hit the 2 buttons that drop the rigging down onto her. That does a lot of damage to her, and now we basically want to hit her as many times as we can. As she's if she starts using the coffin attacks, she just sits here in the middle, which is very good for us. We can get a couple hits in on her, drop the thing again. But if she starts teleporting around, things are gonna get bad.
Yep. And how she teleports, where she teleports is all basically random. So I'm trying to get as much damage on her as I can. If all goes well, we will... See, that's what I'm talking about with the randomness. If all goes well, we will defeat her here in this coffin stage. Well, she's still mad, but probably gonna take 1 more set of spins. Oh, nice. She went back on stage. Come on. Don't do this to me, Pink. Oh my god, she almost...
That was a good Pink.
Oh my god. So you have exactly 1 minute from the time that she turns evil to defeat her, or she will kick you back off the stage. It'll reset the fight. She won't reset her health, but she'll go back to happy. And as you saw, she teleports a lot when she is happy.
That was a good fight. I cannot understate that enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we're happy with that. Oh, no. We got him. Okay. We got him. It's fine. I made up for it by doing that. The momentum. So this red monkey here, if it wants to, will be standing on the ledge and will also just punch you straight into the pit. Come on. This game will actually just punch you straight off into the pit. Thankfully, he didn't do that. This is probably one of the worst levels in the game. If you guys were here earlier, I mentioned that this game has a lot of enemies, and this is a level that really emphasizes that lot of enemies. So, if you guys would like to play a fun little mini game in chat, at the end of this level, try to count how many enemies that you see on screen. I will let you know when the end of the level will be. Let's start counting now. That also cool. No, I'm scared.
Do I get to play this game as well?
You can go for it.
Yeah, of course, go for it.
So we're not quite at the end of the level yet, are we?
No,
Okay.
no. This level, the last level introduced the three room mechanic. Every level before that had 2 rooms in it. This level has 3 rooms in it, as did the prior level. So when we enter that 3rd room, that's where we can start counting just how many enemies there are going to be on screen.
Okay.
But that previous gate back there had a ton of enemies, and I don't know if we've talked about it. Did we mention if you get hit while you're the helmet, you either outright die or your battery drain, battery gauge, which is the green bar in the top left, will go down. So if I had gotten hit by any of the Desperado gunborgs outside of the room, I would have had maybe 2. My back was to that, that monkey's back was to me, and he dodged anyway. Okay, this is a video game.
So this is the first battery monkey you will see.
Yes.
They like shooting things.
Thankfully, the battery monkey is actually immune to damage. You can already start to see what I meant by the enemy spam. You're immune to damage while shocking, which is very nice. Depending on movement, it's possible to get through that room without hitting hit. All right, so we're in the final room. If you guys would like to start counting enemies, there were 3 right there. And I will, this is fine. Okay, we got the double shock.
Yeah, these.
So that was 3 right there.
Another bike monkey. He just runs people down, and getting that double stun on them is very important.
Yeah. So this is a rocket monkey. He's not too important yet, but later you'll be seeing something quite fanciful with him. But for now, we're just gonna run across all these sections. There's some more enemies. Here's another enemy. And I hope you guys got your tally board out, because right now it's been easy to count. We're heading into the very final section. This is normal. All right, so here we go. Final room. Here's another set. Everyone is going to try to hit me. Remember, I have to get all of these monkeys. And bam, final room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so what did everyone count? How many monkeys were there in that final room?
Ooh.
Enemies, not monkeys.
I'll wait for chat, but that I don't know. Would there be maybe nearly? I don't know. I might be sort of confusing like what is what, but I'd imagine like at least 20. I don't know.
Oh, there were at least 20.
Okay.
Half of 20 were in the final section alone.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
What? I've never seen him dodge before. That's all right. I'll say it. That's never happened before. We didn't know which one of those was gonna be it, but there it was.
Okay. Okay, we've got a few guesses coming in. Somebody wondered 16. Somebody wondered 40.
16, 40,
34.
34, 32.
72. That's wow. Yeah, that's.
You know, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Literally all those answers are correct. There is too many enemies.
There's actually enemy spawners in that last section of the level, so technically it's an infinite amount of enemies.
Yes. There are the devs decided that what we are going to do to make this game more fun is to put every enemy we can possibly think of on the board. He said the thing. So this is the scariest wall of death. All you need to know is that went exactly how the runner wanted it to go. It would have been very bad if it didn't. And this is the scariest swing room that we actually have to do. These, like, hooks do not have to behave if they don't want to. Thankfully, they did. And now we're going to come up to one of the coolest contributions I did for this run is we're going to come up to this blue firefighter monkey. And this is going to be... So the way the devs intended is for you to get off the firefighter monkey, put out the fire, grab this flame monkey, and go on over and activate this flame platform here. Yeah, we got it. But it turns out that you can flame this firefighter monkey over to the platform and then nab him as the platform starts moving and take him to the other side of the level where he is not supposed to be and save just a... Nope, please don't fall through. And save just a teeny bit of time by going all the way through that section with Speedy Blue. You can actually take him all the way to the end of the level now, but it's not really worth it. Especially not in those categories where we just have to keep swapping off. All right, so we were talking about Simon Says earlier. This is actually Simon Says. We got a... the pattern's always random, but it's always going to be one of each button. I'm keeping my camera this way on purpose. That was a blue-yellow open cross pattern. I have names for all of them because I've played this game enough that... it's easy to know 3 words: blue, yellow, cross. I instantly know what pattern that's going to be. There is no way to know what you're going to get, but thankfully, as long as you hit the buttons, it doesn't save or lose any time. So there you could see I was immune to damage, which was nice. And the electricity has a mind of its own, and it will sometimes just do whatever it wants. So even though I was not looking anywhere near the batteries which powered that elevator, I was still able to... I'm just upset this game is not letting me play it today. Dude, look at these enemies.
They are ruthless.
We cannot overstate that. But this is the second to last level that is going to be new, and then there'll be 2 bosses after this. And here we're going to get introduced to a new mechanic. If you'd like to take it away, B-Man.
This game, if you know anything about Apescape, they all have infinite height glitches. This one is no different. However, we can only do it with monkeys that have rockets. And a weird thing happens when you drop down from an infinite height. If you activate the rockets again, sometimes you will get a speed boost that just shunts you forward. And so we really just want to try to get that going as much as we can.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunate. Did my capture card add audio delay back in at the last second? That would be unfortunate. I apologize if there is delay for you guys. Oh well. Not really anything I can do about it now. Just keep getting through the monkeys. Alright, good. Glad to hear that it's not an issue. Thank you, guys. So this is Satellite. So the level names, if you guys can read any Japanese, are all essentially giant puns on the fact that we tiny, level big. The name of this what's it called? Dia Senketsu satellite, something like that. It functionally translates to this satellite is ginormous. It's quite funny if you ever want to just go and look at some of the names for this level. You can see just how funny they are. The webcam is delayed. Thank you everyone for the update. Thankfully, that's a much more minor issue.
I'm glad you got that shot second try. This blue rocket monkey does not have a way to aim down sights, and trying to get the camera to focus in on that button sucks.
Yeah. So there is a small skip for it, but sniping the button first try is awesome. So we're bringing back the infinite flight here that B-Man mentioned earlier. Now it's actually really useful because this level, you can see that was a magnetic wall. We're supposed to go across that wall, use this monkey to do a puzzle, do a whole bunch of stuff to get through everything. But what we're just gonna do is literally fly over the entire level. I was focused on what I was doing. Did you explain how to do the infinite flight?
I did not, but all you have to do is just very quickly double tap X as you're going up. Thankfully, we can keep this guy throughout the rest of the level because that door that we just skipped takes so long. There's like these two capacitors that you need to charge up with the battery monkeys, and it takes like 4 or 5 hits each. It's a long time.
Yeah. That puzzle's really, really annoying to deal with. So you might say, oh no, I only have half a banana left. How am I gonna beat this level? Thankfully, all we have to do is get this guy to the end of the level. We don't actually need him to beat the level, which is good because, oh Lord, all right, I gotta actually focus on the level, the next part that's coming up. If you would like to explain.
Yeah, so these next 2 rooms are gonna be very hectic. There's these little reactors in the middle that are going to shoot at us. There's a bunch of enemies, and we need to destroy them. The fastest way to destroy them is with this monkey, who has very rapid punches. And might want to have a couple of flashing light warnings a bit. It can get kind of bad in this room, but not as bad as it's going to be later. But we really need to just focus on these reactors while catching all the monkeys and dodging enemies. It's annoying. Thankfully, that box right there by the second reactor actually has about like a full health refill of bananas. So we can actually just do as much as we can, get those, and then come back and finish the rest.
Also, enemy spam. That's the main reason this is scary, is lots of enemy spam going on in this room. And yes, as Hypnotic said, this level is going to have some flashing lights start. It's going to be mild, and then after this is going to be a more calm section, and then there'll be a boss fight which will have a lot of flashing lights. So we will give you another warning once we get there. But if you do have some photosensitivity, now is a good time to be cautious of that. All right, so here's the start of the mild flashing.
How did you get hit at 1 health and not die in the cutscene?
I got hit into the banana, I think.
Wild.
That's wild. Okay, so we are out of this level, which is good, because that level, as you saw, lots of enemies, lots of things shooting at me. There's a lot going on. Very happy to be out of that stage with all those monkeys. Got an extra monkey in that stage? Oh, I know what I caught extra. All right, so this is White. This is not the boss fight that's a problem yet. This guy's okay. Again, keep them. There is still the mild warning. White has a chance to do a punch attack. If he punches me, then there will be some rapid, red blinking, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's the one after this that we need to do the serious issue. For Uki White, there's really not any tech to him. You just FDS. Remember I said that if you ADS in this game, there's the punch glove. I'll try to keep it mostly off screen for you guys. When we ADS, we fire 33% faster. So the goal is to get behind him, hit him with the hammer twice in the cog, and then just go back to ADS and keep shooting White as quickly as we can so that whenever his iframes end, we hopefully connect while hitting this button. This is the Uzi. Thankfully, this spot that we are standing in, we can hit White and none of his attacks except for the bomb attack, which we did not see, can hit us. All right, so now we are giving you a flashing light warning. This is going to be a lot of rapid flashing lights. So we'll let you know when it's over, but yeah, if you're concerned, yeah, look away now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start.
So this is a Gorillak. He has a body, a head, and 2 arms. You can actually hit each part individually, but the only thing that matters is the body. And so he has a couple different attacks, and we're gonna start spinning with this hammer monkey into his body to get a lot of rapid hits in. And just because we're getting a lot of rapid hits, it causes the flashing lights to just constantly happen.
I should still be able to 2-cycle him, but
Yeah.
that's concerning.
Getting hit by those enemies is very bad because we can do just enough damage in 2 cycles to be able to kill him outright with the body.
Dunk, please. Alright, so let's see if we get the 2-cycle. I don't like where that dive borg is. Come out and no. Okay, we got him. 2-cycle. All right, flashing light warning is over. We do not have to do that again.
All right, so that would be where any percent normally ends. However, in every Ape Escape game, or every mainline one, once you beat the first final boss, the game basically gives you some kind of unlockable to go back and catch the remaining monkeys in the game, and then you have a true final boss. And so now we don't unlock anything per se other than new monkeys in the levels that weren't there on the first playthrough. So we have to go and catch all of the remaining ones that we missed and the new ones.
Yep. So that yellow monkey I left behind at the very, very start of the game, we saved him for this. He is, depending on your movement, just barely faster to catch, but you have to make a really weird wall or jump around a wall. And now you'll start noticing, you'll start noticing monkeys that were definitely not there on the first visit have showed up. So that's why this guy is here now, because he's one of the 2 secret monkeys in this stage. Now, the cool thing about monkeys that I've already caught is I've already caught them. So I don't have to re-catch them, which is nice. Considering if you've seen the randomness of how these monkeys can behave already, we really don't want to deal with that any more than we have to, and we already have to re-enter all of these stages. No, she dodged. Banana. So B-Man, you talked about it earlier, but if you'd like to re-emphasize how ending a level in All Monkeys works.
So there's a monkey counter. Normally what it wants you to do is also, finish the level and dunk it into the final little basket. However, we don't need to do that. All we need to do is just catch the monkeys to get the little check mark on the level and for it to count. So once we get the last monkey and the remaining monkey count is 0, we can just leave the level through the pause menu.
Yep. And the animation, the monkey is counted as caught. The exact frame that the helmet is fully on the monkey. So if I time it well, then I can just immediately quit the stage, pause and quit the stage as soon as the helmet lands on them. All right, so here we're coming up on one of the absolute worst monkeys. Look at that dodge. That is why he's bad, is because he can dodge like that. So I basically have to either get lucky or smack this guy. We really don't want to be smacking monkeys if we don't have to. But the long and short is sometimes we just have to. Also, we never talked about jumping into cutscenes. Cutscenes normally lock your movement, but if you jump into them because you are moving through the air, the cutscene will keep your momentum while locking you in place, so you'll just casually glide closer to the door. And that's used a few times. So unfortunate, bad RNG. This secret monkey was in a bad spot, but we were still able to get him. And now we're going to exit this stage and move on. So that's 2 revisits down. We have to revisit all 21 stages. Unfortunately, I believe it was Ape 3 that introduced boss refights. Is that correct?
I don't know. I think Ape 2.
Okay. It was either Ape 2 or Ape 3 where boss refights got introduced. So that is something that we have to deal with now.
I think they started being required in Ape 3.
Ah, I see. Yeah, so the thing about boss refights is that... also, the reason we caught both of the torch monkeys is because this secret monkey in this stage is actually a infinite torch monkey. So part of the routing for something like all monks is considering what kind of secret monkeys, quote unquote secret monkeys, are you going to be unlocking? Which is why we got the torch monkeys, even though one of them was technically out of the way to catch when we already had a torch monkey. It's because now we can actually save even more time by just doing the whole thing with this. And there is 2 fan monkeys back to back. Is she gonna behave? She is. Nice. The first one here we caught on the first visit, and the second one we catch here on the second visit, and there we go. That's the kind of thing that like all monkeys in this game has to consider, is stuff like that, like which monkeys are we going to catch, why are we going to catch them, when are we going to catch them, are they in the way, are they not in the way, a lot of stuff like that. So this is a very good example of that. So we're just gonna wait for that arrow to go overhead, and we're going to move through. And you can also kind of see how that's the end level goal right there. Essentially, we have to play through most levels in full again. It's not too bad on some stages. It's really annoying on other stages. But the fact that we can just quit out of the stage, no questions asked, means I don't have to ride that lift the rest of the way. And that saves just enough time to be absolutely worth doing. And it saves that time in every stage.
I don't know if it's something that you'd mentioned earlier, but I assume that there's some way of telling within the game how many monkeys you've already collected.
Yeah, so when you go into a level, it will tell you you have collected X out of Y monkeys. I thought he'd die in one shot. I might have to do an extra cycle for red. Yeah, I do. That's unfortunate. That just kind of happens if the Hammerborgs detect you. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Wait, no, you're good. You're good. That was not your fault. Wow. Red. Ookie Red be mean. Ookie Red be mean.
I think it's the same in Big Mission, where the revisits also have more health than the normal fights.
Yes. Yeah. So, finishing that thought. Yeah, when I enter this next stage, you'll see at the bottom of the screen a little counter, and it's going to say X. You can also see on the side 8 out of 12. When I enter it, 8 out of 12. So that is how many monkeys I have out of how many monkeys are in the stage total.
Okay.
There is also a monkey book overall that tells you how many monkeys you have caught out of the game. In this run, we are catching 199 out of 207.
All monkeys?
Just some of the all monkeys. It's mainly because I think 3 of the monkeys are from passwords, which you don't need to beat the game. And there's also a mini game in this game that once you beat it once, it unlocks the monkeys from the minigame into the main game, which are also like bonus monkeys, right? In order to beat the second boss and complete the all monkeys category, you only need the ones that are normally in the level after completing the first round.
What? The PlayStation DualShock 3, please! DualShock 3! That one was actually the DualShock 3. Alright, so I caught that red monkey down below earlier, so I have or because I already have him, I don't have to worry about him. Enemies, dude! So now we're going to catch this motorcycle monkey, and we're going to take him pretty much through the rest of the stage. Hopefully we can hit this bunny monkey. It's kind of funny that the devs give you a bunny monkey for this stage. It's kind of funny that the devs give you a bunny monkey for this stage, because jumping on ice is already bad enough. If you try to have the bunny jump on stage or jump on the ice, he's literally just going to slip over, and essentially you have to run across the entire set of ice. So I don't know if it's like counterintuitive or what. It was a very mean decision for the devs.
It makes sense for the first room because there's like little platforms to jump over the ice instead. But once you get to the door, you're stuck in this room with the bunny monkey, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, remember we mentioned that without the speedy blue monkey and the red monkey, it's already pretty bad. Imagine doing it on a monkey that can't jump either. Ape Escape's great. I love Ape Escape. This is probably my favorite series. Okay, moving into Zeppi Castle 2. So now we're gonna get those night monkeys that we skipped on the first visit here. This is one of the more annoying nights. Oh, also, we do have to do all the puzzles again, too. Ape 1, 2, and 3, actually, I don't know about Ape 1, I think so, were really nice and made it so that if you had completed a puzzle, if you had completed a puzzle, it stayed completed. Ape 3, right? Once the puzzle's done, it's done. But in Daisakuzen, for some reason, they decided that it would be really fun to make the player have to do all of the puzzles again. Ooh. Okay. Have to react to this wall because of how enemy patterns are. So yeah, we're honestly, if the revisit structure or the way they did puzzles or anything was revamped, I would be super excited to play this game again on that updated version, because some of the monkey placements and the puzzle design in this game are just it's really a lot of, but why? The enemy placement, that's the big one. That's the enemy placement issue right there. That's the big thing that I think turns people off of this game, is how many enemies are in this game. Okay, you gonna hit me? Look at these walls, man.
Yeah, these are very unfortunate ones. Hey. Sometimes you can just get very lucky and just go directly up through them with very minimal corrections.
Yes, we are playing as Gex the frog monkey right now. You are correct, it is Gex. Right? That's the name of that game, right? Gex the frog monkey? Whoops, I didn't swap to him.
I remember Gex having suspenders and a bow tie.
You're right. Gex is not as dapper as this monkey is.
But is it tail time though? That's the big question.
Oh, you know, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Oh yeah. It's tail time.
It is tail time. It's tail time.
Very ironic considering apes don't have tails.
Oh, of course they don't.
My mind's been blown. Why would you do this to me? Alright. Nice little swinging section. We're back here, and this is gonna be the first of the ninja monkeys that get introduced. Also, there's going to be a mummy monkey. We didn't talk about it, I don't believe, with the zombies. But mummies and zombies are both immune to bullets. So what they want you to take this mummy monkey and run through all of these enemies so that you can just grab this next guy. But the mummy suffers the same issue as the zombie does and is incredibly slow. So we it's worth taking the time to swap to and then swap back off of them. Even though we have to sit through another catch animation, the fastest form of movement on the mummies is to do their like lurch attack forward, and that's still incredible.
Yeah, I'm not even quite sure it is faster because there's a lot of like when you, once you come back down from the lunge, you just sit there in place.
I would agree. It might not even be faster. All right. Puzzles are more fun the second time. After I build a puzzle, I take them and build it again. Exactly. That's what the goal is. We do them again because they're fun. All right, so this is John. Shoutouts to John, who will sometimes not behave. He thankfully behaved there.
Yeah, thankfully we don't need to do that Simon Says Golden Monkey again because it's right at the end of the level. The next one is can't say the same about it.
Yeah, we'll be completing it, I guess. Nah, that's not the right word. Don't worry about it. We'll see it. We'll be seeing it. How's that? So, Blue Refight. Blue Refight is just the way that the bosses have been adjusted is they went either from 110 to 100% health to 150% health. That's really obvious for Uki Red, but for the rest of the bosses it's a little less obvious. Blue, instead of being measured in hit points like the same as Red, is more measured in cycles. So Blue is now 4 cycles instead of 3. White is just longer. I don't really know how to explain white other than that. Pink is more tedious because you have to do a whole second set of the pink like stage phases. And yellow is 1 cycle longer. All right, cool. So that is 8 of the revisit stages done. Only, what is there, 12 left, I think, and we're done. We're making good time right now. Iwajirumian Lab, we get introduced to another mermaid monkey in this. Now, this mermaid monkey that's coming up can be very mean. Her movements are random, and if she wants to, she can choose to step on my lily pads, which is going to make it physically impossible to cross this gap. So let's see. Don't do it. 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 Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So now the fastest way to catch this monkey is to find her where she is and freeze her. And that is going to cause, oh God, what?
Sketchy.
How did that happen? Find her and freeze her so that we could catch her while she's frozen. That kind of stuff can happen. The monkey will fall in the water, or the ice will melt under me. Thankfully, that worked out well. It is possible to recover falling in that water, but in general, if your monkey goes into the water, it's very hard to get back out. They're most likely going to, unfortunately, become submerged, which thankfully is only a banana, but it's still tedious when it happens. All right, let's make our way over to the end. How is everyone doing today while we finish this level up? It's a sea monkey. Yes. Fun fact, the original mermaid was actually created by stuffing a monkey inside of the body of a fish. If you'd like to research that, that's how the mermaid fantasy started. Or mermaid concept started.
Surely not.
So it...
Really?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Are you serious? Dude, look at this guy. He's being so mean.
I'm in shock.
Huh?
I'm in shock about this revelation. this is certainly news to me.
Yeah, now when you see mermonks, it completely changes your concept. It's like, huh, so that's how they started.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this is... I think I need a moment.
So you're telling me
I
that
need a
these are
moment.
accurate mermaids?
I believe they are, yes. Stop spreading misinformation. All right, I apologize. I'm being told that I'm incorrect.
I like that you hit the boxes
And I
just
will
left
accept that.
anyways.
I didn't need him.
I thought the speedrunner was always right.
Yeah, just like the game's never wrong, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're coming up on our next secret monkey here. Okay. The cycles here are a little annoying. You have to do a very specific amount of cycles to make those as optimal as possible. Or I say cycles, but I mean spins. No, we got a Natsumi hint. We've been so good so far. Also, camera, please. But that's really only for being as fast as possible. Really, as long as we get across, we're happy. So I jumped a little too early there, which is why I fell into the pit. And now we're going to go to the second room, and we're going to take out that mech monkey. All right, I apologize. I might have accidentally started a fight over the legend of the monkey mermaid. I'm not quite certain now.
That's my favorite Zelda game. The Legend of the... whatever.
Legend of the Mermonkey.
What was it again?
The Mermonkey.
The monkey mermaid.
The legend of the mermaid, the Fiji mermaid.
I would pay good money to see that.
Well, that would be a very interesting one. I should probably... Oh, yeah. Is now a bad time to mention that the only Zelda I've played is Phantom Hourglass?
No, not at all. I mean...
All right,
I think
cool, because that's the only one I've played.
I've only played one as well, so
That's fair.
I'm not a real gamer.
It's okay, your favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phantom Hourglass is my favorite, that's for sure. Right? Everyone loves Phantom Hourglass. I'm getting a lot of silence for that. We'll see if Chad agrees.
It's certainly one that I'd like to get on the show at some point, because that's
It's a mobile
a
game.
DS release,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That would actually be really good. I'd like that. Okay, so this stage, remember how I said we're revisiting them for the secret monkeys? Guess what? That was the secret monkey right there at the start. That was him. We don't have to do anything else in Cake Land. That's the only level where we get to leave immediately afterwards. That's a fun level. Why can't they all be like that, B-Man? Why?
Level designers. They just had to put people somewhere.
They had to make the game longer, aka funner, right? Longer equals
I think
funner, right?
there's more secret monkeys in that level, but they're from the mini game. It's if I'm correct.
Off the top of my head, not green, not blue, not red.
I think
not,
one of the Sporticus
black.
monkeys
No.
is down there at the end,
Nope.
isn't it?
Nope, none of the Sporticus monkeys
Oh,
are in that
I'm
stage.
mistaken.
And not even the password monkeys are in that stage. There's literally no other extra monkeys in
I
that.
could have sworn there was one over by the Santa monkey at the end.
No. That would be really annoying if there was, but there is not. Alright, so this was actually a really good yellow that we had going on in the meantime. Yellow should be defeated as soon as he jumps or gets up. I'm gonna hit him one more time. Hit this button. This is going to drop the cake knife on him, and that is going to take yellow out. That was a really nice yellow. And I do want to emphasize, if your movement is at all wrong on the initial setup for that fight, you have to do a entire extra setup for or cycle for yellow, which were really annoying. So this is the level that makes all monkeys fun. We were talking earlier about the Golden Mon mini game and how we have to redo puzzles, and then you got introduced to a couple other mechanics in the game. And this is the snipe. Let's go.
Nice shot.
This one. This skip is exclusive to, well, I say exclusive. Any category that has to, it's happening again. It's happening again. No, you know what? Full send. We got it, it's fine. This one is exclusive to any category that has to replay this, which is not all of them, actually, I don't believe. Is any percent the only one that doesn't play this stage twice? Actually,
I believe so.
Oh, okay. I was making it sound really cool. I guess
Minimum
it's not as
captures,
cool.
maybe.
It's literally just. Yeah, you're right, min caps, but we don't talk about min caps. That's as bad as low percent.
So one of the rocket monkeys is here in this level, and thankfully is right before the second golden monkey minigame.
Okay. He usually does not behave, which was his normal behavior today. And now we're going to use that infinite flight glitch. And that's the golden monkey minigame. Just like B-Man said, it's just before the minigame, which is really cool when the devs did not put a wall above that minigame. But they did put a load zone above it. So yeah, we're just gonna, casually fly over that and save, I don't know. How long would you estimate that minigame takes?
At least 30 seconds.
At least 30, that's a fact. Okay. Infinite flight's kind of finicky. It is just pushing the X button twice, but if you push it at a slightly off cycle, you will go down instead of going up.
Yeah, you need to hit it pretty fast, one after the other, for it to actually recognize. If not, you will either start descending, or you will just fall, and gotta catch yourself. Is not a good time.
Yeah, especially if you get the falling one. If you start falling, you're usually doing a infinite flight over a pit or something. You do not have long to catch yourself. You fall pretty fast in this game. All right. Moving on to airship. We are officially in the we're in the tail end of the run. We are past second yellow. Final cleanup. Okay. Of where the stages start to get on the longer side, but that's not a problem because we have all of the monkeys, so we don't have to deal with any of that shenanigans. We only have to deal with the level itself. Also, we're coming up on a nice little fun. The monkey doesn't per se catch itself, but it's going to put itself in a very precarious situation if this works out. So let's see if we get this here. So this little, this monkey, we're gonna just casually let him do his thing.
He's not cooperating.
He's not, but I'll give him a little bit. We got some time. Come on. Go this way. Go. All right. All right. I'm just gonna have to. Yo. All right. Whatever. He is supposed, or what he can do is jump straight into the spikes on the side of the arena and just knock himself out for you. But he did not want to do that. And now we're going to do what we call frog jump. So I mentioned earlier, oh man, that's the first time I missed that in a while. I mentioned earlier that we don't know if this is, we know what it is, but frog jump. It's self-explanatory, guys. That's frog jump, okay? That's frog jump. Right, B-Man? That's frog jump.
If you say so.
I've taught it as this. Hey, everyone is frog jumping. It shall be frog
So
jump.
we're gonna do this the big jump here again, and I don't think you'll be pushing any of the buttons, but you can probably see just how much it. Oh,
That's unfortunate. I jumped a little off time from what I'm used to, and as such, I had to make up for
we
that.
have a nice setup where if you just go when the front hot air balloon changes directions, you'll be able to line yourself up right with the thing.
Yep, it lines up though. You do still have to push the. You do still have to drop the parachute at the correct timing. So I was a little too low on the first one for what I'm used to, and then a little too high on the second one for what I'm used to. But we made it through.
Yeah, you can see all these blocks in this room. You have to use this wolf monkey to push them, and it brings the goalpost just a little bit closer. And normally you can skip one of them because you can just jump over to it, but they still take a long time to push.
Yeah. Especially two of them require two different direction sets to be pushed, whereas two of them are just straight in. So it's a bit tedious. So we're actually going to skip both of these monkeys at the start of this level because with this monkey caught, we could just go straight to them. Moving in the Borg is usually slower, but we have to catch this monkey anyway. So taking the time to go catch the centaur and then go over and catch this guy basically breaks even with just going straight over to this guy. So as long as you know how to dodge the arrows, which you did see those Borgs were very willing to hit me with arrows, which would have one-shot my little helmet. You could successfully get through that. Yo, the mummy, please. Okay, camera. So this is our first secret monkey. This room, every room in this gets one secret monkey added to it for a total of 3. But remember, this is the stage that I talked about. We functionally have to catch every single monkey in this stage anyway. So now you're gonna see how much I have to run through again, just so that I could get the final secret monkey at the end of this rather tedious stage, especially considering the axes that were in this stage. Thankfully, however, in this category, we don't have to deal with the final set of flight axes again, which is really nice, considering that in some later categories, like, wow, bad cycle. Like, in 207 monkeys, which is another category this game has, you do actually have to get to the other side because they put a 4th secret monkey all the way at the very end of this level. Which makes it very tedious, but thankfully, getting hit by the axes is fine. Getting hit into the pit by the axes is the annoying part. It's pretty challenging to gauge where the axes are going to be. As B-Man mentioned earlier, the hitboxes on the axes are a suggestion if they are there at all sometimes.
Yeah, like the tips of them just don't seem to have a hitbox, but like the entire like open section underneath of them does. So when you're like flying across the gap and you're like hugging against the wall, you can just kind of squeeze by the end with the tips, but but if you're just trying to cross them as they're swinging past, you can't. They'll just hit you.
I was so nervous. She started teleporting. To answer the question in chat, this game is a Japanese region exclusive. There is no English patch for this game. If you want to play this game, you need to get the Japanese version on a PSP or other capable device. But yeah, it's Japanese exclusive. Also, this is Pink. If you guys, anything you'd like to add up to this point, while I just do deal with Pink, or Hypnotics, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about, since we've mostly been chatting this whole time. at all. You guys are free to talk during this point. I'm just hitting pink.
I don't have any particular questions of my own, but I guess this gives me a bit of time to say, everybody, this is Going Places. This is a show that looks at region-exclusive games as well as handheld games, and lo and behold, this is the second golden game we have got on. This one qualifies for both of them, as it only came out on the PSP. You can play it on PlayStation TV and Vita as well, but it originally released for the PlayStation Portable and only came out in Japan. So if you have any games that sort of fall under those categories, then you should definitely consider submitting. Games Done Quick /hotfix. And just a reminder that your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support these shows happening. So please consider supporting the daily content if you enjoy these shows, because I think I enjoy putting them on. Are we having a fun time, you two?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
If you want to have another golden game, there's another Japanese-only PSP Ape Escape game called SaruSaru Racer. It is a Mario Kart clone.
No.
Oh yes.
He's
The best
bringing
part
Racer
is
up.
the monkeys, they're not racing carts. They are the carts.
I was really hoping you'd say that. That's brilliant.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend checking out the intro cutscene to SaruSaru Racer if you would like to have your mind blown by that video game.
Okay. This all sounds very promising. I've got to check it out now.
Chad is very interested in making you not talk about Racer B-Man.
What else is there?
Academy 1, Academy
2,
2, OTL.
Came out in 2 regions, but it's not region exclusive per se. Ape Quest came out, yeah. Those are the only 2 on the PSP. There's a bunch of other Japanese-only Ape Escape games, but they're PS2 era.
We can still put those on as well.
Ooh.
Oops, what am I doing? Yeah, all right. When's the Million Monks speedrun, B-Man? When are we getting that?
Is that all monkeys in like every single game?
No, it's its own game.
No. There's a game literally called Million Monks.
Oh wow.
Think of if Ratchet and Clank, but Ape Escape.
Oh, okay.
There's also, you're gonna love this one, because I pitched this to Nate for Awfully Silly as well. There's a game called SaruSaru 2001, where the main premise is the monkey's pants are dirty, and so you have a vacuum to suck the monkey pants off of the monkeys to clean them.
And it's canon.
I don't know what to say other than Con keeps on not stealing, but taking a lot of games that I could have on my show. So I probably better jump on that one pretty quick. Con, you can't take another one from me. Although if you've gone to him first, I'll let him have it.
No, that's fine. We actually
Let's just put it in both.
True.
That game just actually got an English patch for it recently by yours truly and a couple other people.
Oh, nice.
It did. Yeah, if you're interested in playing SaruSaru 2001, highly recommend it.
Nice.
Check out the English patch, which B-Man himself and a couple others worked on making. Highly recommend.
Oh, that's neat. Shoutouts to people who sort of localize and translate things, because it makes a lot of these games more accessible. And yeah, big part of these sorts of things.
Yeah, I'll definitely, especially considering, when you look at the storyline of Ape, which I don't think most people focus on Ape for the story, Ape Escape 2 began with a really questionable scene of the main character, Jimmy, putting a bunch of pants into a teleporter. And if you have ever wondered, but why, 2001 will answer your question.
Yes.
Why is because of 2001.
Understandable.
They realized that manually washing hundreds of pants is just not feasible. So just send them new pants.
Maybe they're sending them the washed pants. I mean, they did wash
Maybe.
some of them. Everyone but Spectre did, of course. I love that argument at the end where Spectre's just like, you're not washing them. Why should I, Misty? I mean, Natsumi. All right. So we are in Birdie Base. Oh, by the way, shout outs to the music in these games. The music is composed by Soichi Terada. He came back for this one. Highly recommend him. He just put a new album out recently. If you like his stuff, check it out. Especially this track is a real banger. What's your favorite track in this game, man? Oh no,
In
Wall
this
of Death.
game,
Yeah.
I think it's the level with the ice lake. The
Ijirorumi Lab? Yeah, that's a good one. Also, that's what happens to a wall of death if you get on a wrong cycle, which, by the way, the cycle is... I'm not sure if it's deterministic or not. So sometimes you just walk in on that wall and boom. Guess what? You're getting inflamed. Jammies. Yeah, I would agree. Iwajirumi Lab is probably my favorite track, and then this is probably my second favorite track. I really like it.
I've been watching the Discord stream with no audio, so I haven't had a chance to listen to them and give you a proper answer recently. Just going off of memory.
Oh, just go listen to the SaruSaru Master Moves playlist on YouTube.
You pain me.
I have caused pain.
Yeah, the name Dai Sakusen, the kanji just literally translates to large or like great mission or great task. So where some people in the early days just got the name Master Moves from boggles my mind.
Yep, but it's there. So if you did want to listen to the soundtrack, you do have to look up Saru Gets You Master Moves. But the soundtrack's pretty recommended. I mean, all the soundtracks except for what's that game we don't talk about? Oh, Ape 2, right? Yeah, don't listen to that one.
Yeah, Ape 2 is weirdly not composed by Soichi Terada.
Which is unfortunate. I would have liked to see him do more work there, but I mean, we got Pumped and Primed, Ape 3, Ape 1, this game. Like, Pumped and Primed soundtrack is
you're missing
real
out
good
on Toy
soundtrack.
Monkey Mania. And Million Monkeys.
Look,
I'm gonna confess, I did do a little snoop of Sarge's SRC page, and I did see that game, and I thought, do I? I've been tempted. I've been tempted by the iToy game.
Oh, the iToy game and the PlayStation Move game in the same show.
Oh man, I'll do iToy, but you're doing PlayStation Move.
Well, something to think about. Certainly.
B-Man deserves the credit though. He legit routed Move from like the ground up. Credits to the route he put up. That game is pretty well done for a gimmick game.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do in a game that is literally just an auto-scroller.
iToy, on the other hand, is, do you like Mario Party? Cool. I don't. Well, I'm playing it anyway.
Is it just an RNG, like, prayer fest?
Pretty much.
Yes. It's literally 3 boards of Mario Party, but you're playing as monkeys instead.
And all the minigames use the iToy.
All of them.
Do you like waving your hands in the air to make your cart go left and right with very bad image recognition? I'm sure you do.
God, don't get me started. I've speedrun a Kinect game.
Oh yes.
Before.
Oh, you might have experienced this. And the best part of iToy is if you accidentally cover your camera up for like 10 seconds, or your camera detects it's too dark for like 10 seconds, whole game resets your console.
No way.
For like the longest time, I had like, I guess my room was just too dark, and I like was trying to do runs, and the game would just restart to the tile screen, and I was so confused with it. And then I don't know how we found it. I think we were trying to do it, and then you covered your camera, and then it reset. and we figured out it was the light level in the room. It is dumb.
Wow.
Yeah, being like 15 minutes into a run, which goes anywhere from 40 minutes to 2.5 hours. That's how bad the RNG could be. Yeah, just randomly losing the run because it kicked you back to the main menu because your iToy was disconnected. Not fun.
That's incredible.
If that game ever gets in, someone can show that off at the start. They're just like, all right, so look, this is what happens.
Just, you got to pretend that it's
That
a
would
strat.
be
We're just going to manipulate the RNG.
Actually, no joke. It might be a faster way to get out of I completed a board screen.
Oh.
Time to reroute that game.
Okay, now that we're on the same topic, what other obscure Apes games have we not talked about? There's the.
I was about to say this seems like a real gold mine.
There's the Academy trilogy. One of them is literally just
Fun
a
fact.
JRPG.
Okay.
That game's fun. Got a real good route in that one. Took 3 years to make a route.
It is actually fun. Yeah, again, credits to B-Man. B-Man has put a lot of work into the Ape Escape community.
What are we missing?
Ooh. For obscure
Other
titles?
like not going deep in, but like the 14 released games.
Oh god, we just shocked some people. 14?
Yeah, 14 released games.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 mainline numbered ones. 4 if you count this game as Ape Escape 4. And Pumped Up.
And 5 if you count
Pumped
2001.
Up Primed. We haven't talked about Pumped Up Primed yet. That's I want to say it's like Crash Bash kind of thing, where it's a tournament style that's just a bunch of different mini games. Then the mini games progress in difficulty as you go through the things. Oh, on the loose. There you go. That's a portable game for you. A remake of Ape Escape 1. Varies wildly on opinions.
It varies depending on whether you play it or Ape 1 first, is the real way to break it down.
I feel like I'm very much at risk of like losing all ownership over this show. I think it's it's gonna become an Ape Escape oriented show.
You could make a hotfix that's just Ape Escape games if you find the people
Just
to run them.
The Ape Escape of
Just
fun.
a hotfix that is only games about monkeys. That way you
totally could.
broaden your horizons with Monkey Ball, Donkey Kong. Oh, possibilities are endless.
There's a lot of games with monkeys on
Well,
them.
hey, if anybody wants to jump on that idea, then the GDQ Hotfix website, if you're interested, because we're looking at getting more shows, and this is a fun thing to do. I think it's a fun thing to do. So yeah, if you've got any ideas like that or anything else, maybe games including frogs, because we talked about frogs quite a bit already in this run, then yeah, hit us. Tell us what you got.
All right. Speaking of showing what we've got, this is the final level in the game, the penultimate of the whole thing. We're going to see what Spectre has got. That's right, we refight Spectre, but this time we are fighting him. If you remember last time we destroyed the body, this time we're destroying the head. And the fastest way to do this is literally just to grab this green monkey and just sit here and fire rockets at him. I have no idea why this is the fastest strat.
Thankfully, this method doesn't have ludicrous amounts of flashing lights, so we are in the clear for this one.
Yep, this one is just sit here, do the jump technique. This is also a really good spot to really see just how jumping is faster and further, because if you try to just run from him and then you fire the rockets, what's going to happen is you're going to get hit. But if you do it by jumping from him, then you'll have enough time to be able to squeeze a rocket set into there. And that goes for both of his 2 attacks that chase us. So this one's going to look really scary, but if my movement was good, he's not going to actually hit me there. And now we're...
Get ready on time. This is, I think there's one more cycle.
Second... Yeah, there'll be one more cycle, and then time will be coming up. So that's Spectre right there. A full cycle is when he's done all of his attacks. So now that he's done it once, we get to see each of the attacks again. Laser, or eye lasers, jet chase, electricity, rocket, and spin. And once we've seen them all one more time, time is going to be coming up once the second spin ends. There'll be a white light signifying we've completed him. So we'll call it once we see it. But yeah, this is during this fight, since we've mostly been chilling, any shout outs we'd like to do, now's a great time because we're just kind of sitting here. I've been Sarge, super happy to be here. Thanks for joining B-Man and Ape Escape Discord. You want to shout that one out if you
yeah, go to the speedrun.com page. We have the Discord link there. Come hang out. If you like Ape Escape games, or if you just actually want to start looking into running them. Virtually all 3 of the main games completely broken. Great games to run.
And time.
GG.
GG.
Thank you. So we're gonna let this one play out. Feel free to continue where you were.
That's it for me.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's been super fun to be here. Thanks again. Check me out, SRGT Silent on Twitch, Twitter, Speedrun, whatever. Thanks Hypnotics for asking me to be here. I'm super happy to have joined and came here and ran this. It was fun. Game didn't behave as I wanted it to, but I'm sure you understand that. Marathon luck.
Indeed.
Marathon, yeah. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And again, thanks B-Man, and please consider joining the Ape Escape Discord. We have a fancy link for the Ape Discord, don't we, B-Man? AESR?
It is discord.me/AESR.
So go ahead, hop in there if you'd like to learn this game, Ape 1, Ape 2, Ape 3, iToy Monkey Mania, iToy Monkey Mania, Ape Moob. I did say that game twice on purpose. We should get more runners. Like, don't run the main games. The side games are way more fun. Come run a CAD 2 with me. But yeah, I mean, thanks again. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys again.
Indeed, yeah. Thank you so much for running that. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, if you've only just sort of stumbled across the channel at the moment, or you missed the run that we had earlier, because that was a lot of fun as well, both of these runs are going to be popping up on the Games Done Quick YouTube channel, and we will also have a highlight sort of reel of the games that we've had across the week on the Games Done Quick Sum of Best channel, I believe. So yes, that is us done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This has been Going Places. We will be back in another 2 weeks' time, but don't go... Well, we don't have anything after this, but we do have some shows going on tomorrow. So if you tune in, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, there'll be PB Precipice, a show about runners doing live PB attempts. And then after that will be It's Dangerous to Go Alone, which shows off co-op speedruns. So I tell you what, I've had a lot of fun. Maybe I've got to pick up the iToy game. I've enjoyed the banter that comes with the Ape Escape speedrunning, and yeah, I will actually be on Conception. We were talking about Conception. I will be on his show on Monday, this coming Monday, showing off No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. So if any of you happen to know anything about that game, then the speedrun's kind of funny. But we will be heading off now. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.